Aw, wrong HDMI. Come on, dude. Alright, let's finish this game finally. Okay. Ah. Oh, it's the box. We're just starting straight up with looking at the box. So this is the article in question, is it? A small box deposited with the pawnbroker by Mr. McGilda 2 months ago. And the night of Mr. Winnebank's murder. The only item on the shelf that was touched by whoever broke into the shop.
Quick! Let's open it and see what's inside.
Oh. Okay. Good gracious, this is no ordinary box, it seems. Wow. Although in truth, I had an inkling that might be the case. It would appear that the box houses a miniature music box movement. Oh no! Well, now I see why he wanted the box. Then, is it too much to expect? I would think it would be reasonable to assume that it is a device for the playback of this disc, my lord. What a tiny box for that. Where is the box, by the way? Which desk is that on? So here we have the means to play back Mr. McGillicud's disc deposited at Winnebank's at much the same time. That's strictly correct, my lord. It was not McGillicud's disc. It was a disc of his victim in the omnibus. But why, for heaven's sake? I didn't understand that the brickmaster was trying to sell this music box sticks to Mr. McGillicud. I raise my hand. I believe the answer will become clear if you listen to the music on the disc, my lord. I have a feeling it's not music. Yes, very well. And the court now listen to this curious disc at last.
Wait, my lord.
Why are you saying hold it? Good grief. What is the meaning of this, Inspector?
Music box on in the disc well, they're unrelated to the case.
Oh, hold on, let me just want to see if the bot works. Just a second. Yeah, it works. Okay.
No need to spoil the somber atmosphere in the courtroom with some silly bit of music.
This disc may very well have motivated the culprit in this case to commit murder. Clearly, there's every chance that it's fundamentally important to understand what happened. The prosecution has no objection.
But by now, the piece of evidence is police property. Now you can't.
Clearly, Scotland Yard has some vested interest here. Thanks for the host. I'm gonna. Okay, I just staked him in Discord as well. But it is a policy of the prosecutor to leave no avenues unexplored. This is the frickin' forehead 10K. And you, Inspector, have no jurisdiction here to prevent that from happening.
Ah!
No further delays, please. Play the disc. For McGilded. What on earth? It's the same thing. That's certainly not what I call music. Oh no. It's Morse code. I don't know how to read Morse code. No. It's just the same note playing over and over again in an irregular sequence. Mr. Graydon? This is really priceless. After all that, the music box is broken. Broken? It can't be, can it? Well, obviously. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised. The officer sent to fetch it and didn't drop it on the way back to the courtroom. Well, with much regret, I feel the court must accept this music box, that this music box offers little in the way of clues. Are you ready to move on, counsel? Come on. Yes, alright. It does sound as though it's completely broken, but is it? Could this music emanating from the music box possibly be a clue? It's Morse code. I believe that it could be relevant, my lord. Good lord! But how can it be? It's an abomination, counsel. Mere noise. I fail to see how it can have any meaning whatsoever. It does sound strange, I agree. But there's one thing bothering me. While Graydon stands there chortling victory, the inspector beside him has a rather telling expression on its face. It's as if Gregson recognizes the sound, and he's familiar with it somehow. That's making him appear extremely on edge.
If that's the stance of the defense, my deputy's friend, answer me this.
Oh!
Just what relevance do you propose this woeful chiming has on this case?
It's the defense's belief that the sound emanating from this music box is not supposed to be music. Just because this is a music box, it doesn't necessarily mean the sounds we're hearing are music. Look at that. A smile vanished from Graydon's lips as soon as I said it. I'm on the right lines here. I must be.
Making deductions based on how people react to what you say. You're acting just like Hurley, Bruno.
Objection! Sounds we're hearing aren't necessarily music. Well, now that you've told us what they are not. I'm sure the court would like to hear what they are. Do it, Linus, my deputy's friend.
Well,
Surely you have an idea in mind, because if not, it would be the death of your ill-formed argument.
I would look up the Morse code alphabet, but I'm sure it will actually just flat out tell me in game what it's saying, so I'm not gonna bother. Exactly. Music box is clearly broken. Refusing to accept the fact is pure foolishness. Who are you, Franny? Got to me. I don't know what the answer is yet.
Bruno. I've just examined the music box very thoroughly. And I'm fairly certain that it's not broken at all.
Really?
Really? The way it's been made, it can only produce a single note anyway.
Thank you, Iris. Alright, well, if the music box isn't broken, it's freaking Morse code! Why are you guys taking this long? Must mean that the sound it's producing has some significance that isn't musical. Ah! Could it be? Is that what these sounds are?
Something's just struck me, Bruno. Feel like recently, the past few hours even. I've heard another sound very much like this, the one on the music box making. What?
Yes, it's a familiar sound. Wait, what? Actually, Iris, I was just thinking exactly the same thing. I'm going to press the defense for an answer. If your assertion is that the sound produced by this music box is not, in fact, music at all, then what the devil is it, counsel? All the evidence we've seen so far, all the testimony you've heard, it's not pointing to one single answer now. Hey, it's this song! I'm just kidding.
Prosecution demands that my learned Nipponese friend presents proof now. tangible proof of this latest wild speculation.
Alright then. This could be the best chance I'm going to get to fight back in this trial. And if I'm right, it's going to join all the dots together. The evidence that explains the true nature of the sounds on this music box disc is... Okay. So we're... It's not this. The thing is, I don't have anything in my evidence that suggests it's... Yeah, I don't have anything in here that suggests it's Morse code. Can I listen to it again? Oh, I can't. Yeah, I can't listen to it again. Hmm. So, the box disc is Mr. Mason's. But... So it's Mr. Mason's. And it's not gonna let me hear the Morse code. That's irrelevant. I could have. The true nature of the music box discs. So, the way they're making it sound, it's not Morse code. I know Morse code did exist back then. I'm just wondering, like, what evidence would we have that would explain the dinging besides Morse code? Because I don't have any evidence of that. Blood is definitely Mr. Mason's. What do we have in the other blood samples? We flat out know that we marked down that it's actually graded now. Yeah, because this is purple for thrice fired Mason. We have this, the Hound of the Baskervilles. We haven't actually used this yet. We haven't used this newspaper either. The front page of this is useless. It's this. Well, this is still the front page technically, but this is the ball on the front page is the relevant part to this piece of evidence. Contains an article about government secrets being leaked to the foreign agencies. Okay, maybe. Hold on. Maybe it is Morse code. And this music box disc supposedly is how their secrets are being leaked. It's worth a shot. Holy crap. Holy crap. Today's paper council. The headline is Pawnbroker perishes in pick purse plunder. Hardly supportive of your cause. No, my lord. I was hoping you'd look a little further down the page. Further down. Ministry Mole. Classified secrets may have been leaked overseas from Ministry of Justice. Yes, it's a very serious matter being investigated at the highest level, I understand.
I've heard that international transmissions along supposedly secure lines are somehow being intercepted.
Oh, and I just realized we got someone that can use Morse code, or at least cable code, inside the courtroom at this very moment. And Graydon is somebody from that company. Oh.
And leaked to various other countries.
Presumably, those transmissions are in the form of wire telegrams.
Of course.
Juror number 5, your input, please. Stop. Oh, me, sir? What does it matter? You told the court before that you worked at the same communications station as Mr. Graydon, did you not? Yes, that's correct. Hold on. Sorry. In the particular station where you work, deals with government communications and newspaper reports? Oh yes. We're not your run-of-the-mill communication station at all. Our work is extremely important. And tell me, is this not a very familiar sound? Oh yeah, okay. That's where we've heard it before. You don't mean to say, is it? That's right, madam. It bears more than a passing resemblance to the sound made by your telegraph machine as you tap it. Police card, Morse code. Yeah, there we go. You finally addressed that it's freaking Morse code. What? I don't believe it. Now correct me if I'm wrong, but when it comes to leaking telegrams from government departments, there could be nobody more perfectly placed than a highly skilled communications officer.
Are you suggesting that the music box disc contains stolen government secrets in Morse code?
Order, please everyone, order. This is this is high treason, council, deserving of capital punishment. How much new vocabulary? What is this treason, and what is capital punishment? Sorts of words I half expected you to know. Is that a Russian joke? For our sovereign government's confidential information, hostile nations would surely pay almost any price. Yes, and on that night 2 months ago, that was the very negotiation that was taking place inside the omnibus.
But in the end, McGood had perished. The all-important disc lay unclaimed at the pawnbrokery.
My word. In which case, whoever stole that information in the first place must surely have been beside himself with worry. Besides, because if the disc were to be discovered before it found its way out of the country, it would reveal an act of high treason punishable by death. Wow. So the culprit had no choice but to retrieve it. In order to do that, he would have to gain entry to the pawnbrokery illegally in the middle of the night. Because the article left behind by Mr. McGilden would incriminate him too much if it got into the wrong hands. Isn't that right, Mr. Graydon? Oh, he's on edge now. You think I've been stealing government secrets? Preposterous. Absolutely preposterous. I need a drink. So, in response to the defense's accusation, he claimed complete innocence to you. Well, of course I do. I've had to stand here in silence while the pretentious foreign lawyer has been prattling away.
Objection!
Well, I thank you for the host count and welcome in.
Then by all means, counter the charges, sir. The prosecution demands the witness testifies in response to the accusations brought by the defense.
Delighted, I'm sure. The witness is reminded that the crime under scrutiny in this trial is the murder of the pawnbroker, Mr. Winterbank. That being a most flagitious, flagitious offense. Hold on, I need to. Flagitious, flagitious, flagitious. Okay, all right. That being a most flagitious offense, for which the law of this land sanctions the capital punishment. But the heinous act of high treason is no less serious a crime. I urge you to bear that in mind as you testify, Mr. Graydon. So then, let us proceed. You may. Okay. You know, have a rabbit and pork here, Governor. We got things to say. I beg your pardon. Who do you think who do you think you are?
Name's Nash Skulkin. Occupation is professional baddie.
Name's Ringo Skulkin, but we ain't baddies enough to sell on a Motherland.
That's right. We would to call.
That's three Skulkin brothers.
Bad timing, fellas. Very bad timing.
Alright. That was weird. Mere communications officer couldn't possibly steal confidential government information. Besides, the sounds produced by the music box aren't even most quoted. It was some low-class brickmaster negotiating with McGoda anyway, was it not? I have no relation to the man.
Look, all we done is breaking into the cafe the other night like we what he told us to do. If we known that it was started government shaking the road, we would have touched it.
Okay. Everyone's in silence. Mr. and Mr. Skulkin?
Well, Mr. New Governor, what's up?
Do I take it you now admit to the crime? Then I'm not in question. You did indeed gain entry to the premises illegally. And moreover, you did so as a party of three in collaboration with Mr. Graydon here?
We did go, we did.
Idiots. Quiet down, please. What say you to that, Mr. Graydon? I have no idea what these two ruffians are referring to.
You little Ryder gang is mixed up in this monkey business. You never said nothing about no government secrets. It wasn't supposed to be a straight up job. And what about this geezer in shop it was, eh? Poor bloker didn't have to die, did he?
Nice to know who your friends are. Whatever these men say, I deny the accusations. Indeed. Well, I certainly wasn't expecting this little music box to be so significant in the proceedings. However, as it has, I'll admit it into the court record as evidence. Small music boxes has been entered. Okay. It doesn't say anything about it being Morse code. Well, I guess first things first, let's look at this. Oops. Wrong button. That's a great start to this. At least I didn't have 1 HP. Okay, let's actually look at this. And not push the freaking triangle button. That's just a bolt underneath it. This is a mechanism that turns the bumps on the disc into sound, isn't it?
Yes, the movement. It's all thanks to the comb with its teeth that are plucked by the passing batons. Usually the teeth on the comb have different lengths, so that each one produces a different tone. But this comb is very strange. All the teeth are exactly the same length.
Well, what does that mean?
It means that no matter what tooth is plucked by the passing bumps, the music box will play the same, will make the same sound. Never seen a music box like it before.
Yes, it is strange. Music box can only play a single note. Must be some kind of thing. Yeah, sure. You idiots! We know it's freaking Morse code. Maybe this was intended to give to you earlier in the case, like when you didn't know it was Morse code. What the heck is this? Oh,
Was it, Rudo?
I've just noticed something about this music box. Looks like the bottom of it opens up as well. Oh no.
Ah, you're right! Come on, then, what are you waiting for? Let's open it.
Alright, here goes. Oh, it says teeth. Look at.
Look at that! Another movement on the other side.
So does that mean you said another disc to play back on this side?
Yes, I think so. It looks like the two movements are linked together.
They're linked.
So you two discs, they both play back at the same time.
What? Alright. Who would have thought there would be a second movement on the other side of this box?
This movement is like the other one. The cob's teeth are all the same length.
This movement also only produces a single tone, like the other one?
Yes, this must do. Except the lengths of the teeth on two cobs isn't the same.
So they produced.
So the single tone produced by this movement will be different from the single tone we've already heard. What? Basically, each movement can only produce a single note.
But the notes they produce are different. A music box can only play 2 tones. Oops, I bumped the mic. Alright, well. Good to know this is here. So if we somehow get a second disc. Alright, let's start pressing. So is this newspaper headline accurate? Government communications are being intercepted? How could I possibly know? What do you mean by that? Any important government communications are handled by high-level officers, by specialists. To my members of staff in the station where I work, they would never be entrusted with sensitive information. Oh no, stop! Stop! Must I say something? Stop! Let me guess. German 5? Regular communication station offices aren't as lowly as you're being led to believe. A team of us responsible for setting up and testing telegram used by ministry. Mr. Graydon is the team leader. Well, that's fascinating. Graydon is highly skilled operation. Stop. Currently in presence of idle. Stop. So you had access to the equipment used for these confidential communications, Mr. Graydon. Well, what of it? The transmissions are always made behind closed doors so they can't be heard. In any case, all messages are sent decrypted and enciphered. Normal employees can't possibly understand them. Oh no, stop! Must I say something? Stop! Mr. Graydon regularly attends meetings with ministry technicians and the ministry communications team. He assists them in ensuring that there are no errors in important international communications. And he's received the top prize in the cipher cracking convention 5 years in a row now. That's fascinating. Graydon's high school operator, stop. Currently in presence of idol, stop. Well, your idol would appreciate it if you keep your mouth shut. I mean, she's telling the truth. She should really pick her idols more carefully. I tell you, this lawyer's accusations are completely unfounded.
Hold it!
They're not?
When it was brain, that would be blatantly apparent on listening to the music box for even a few seconds.
Of course, of course. Sure, they can't be. My learned friend is unfamiliar with Morse code. Ouch. He looks genuinely shocked at my ignorance.
I'd be more happy to demonstrate the basis of you, sir.
Lesson? Here in court?
Morse code is a continuous
series of 2 distinct tones. Yeah, I know. Tones, you say?
Yes, a short dot and a long dash. Combining those in 2 different ways, you construct letters.
I see.
For example, this is A. This is B.
I suppose that isn't exactly Morse code that's being played on the music box.
But when you listen to the sound produced by this music box, you only hear one tone, don't you?
But it sounds so similar. The rhythm is the same in everything. But there's no discernible meaning to this apparently random sequence of sounds. The assertion is fundamentally flawed. This is not Morse code. No! Really shouldn't be surprised. What did I tell you? That music box is nothing but a worthless piece of scrap.
Perhaps you might consider studying your subject matter before casting aspersions in the future.
Stop. Nothing to say but stop.
Oh, it's so frustrating, isn't it?
Iris?
I mean, if the government secrets were somehow being leaked using the music box, so many other things would slide into place so nicely.
Huh. So what if we had a second disc? Would that actually would the second disc actually show that there is dashes along with those dots? That would be interesting. Could there still be something I haven't considered? Would it really be impossible to use this music box somehow to play back Morse code? Honestly, I'm willing to say impossible right now because we don't have a second disc. I'm gonna say impossible. The defense will concede that the music box is irrelevant for the time being. For the time being,
Such optimism. Too debonair to admit defeat, are we?
the gesticulations are really starting to grate.
Can't be Morse code unless it has 2 distinct tones.
Perhaps I should examine the music box in a little more detail. Oh. Okay, so I don't need a second disc. I don't need a second disc. I could just like, I could just like, since I've already examined it, I might as well just say that it could be Morse code. Oh, let me just get past all this. Shut up! I know what Morse code is. Let's give it a try. Because there's still every possibility that this music box was instrumental in the leaking of the government secrets. That's the belief of the defense, at least.
Objection!
Does it please you in some way, my Nipponese friend? Repeat the same line of argument ad infinitum.
It's already been established that to be Morse code, two tones are required, dots and dashes.
Yes, I'm well aware of that.
Then what?
Well, it appeared the defense has a hypothesis to put forward. You better present your idea at once, counsel. How do you propose that the music box, which appears to produce only a single tone, could have been used to decipher the secret messages into Morse code? Oh, and it just... Blah, 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 blah. Yes, I've already just noticed this. I've already read all this. Zabba, 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 zabba.
Got it!
Good gracious, what am I looking at here? There's movement on the other side of this music box.
What?
It appears, my lord, that the two movements are linked together. In other words, you put two discs in this music box, and the sounds of both will play back at the same time. Good heavens! As court has heard, Morse code comprises of two tones, a short dot and a long dash. With a second disc in place, this music box can be used to generate Morse code to convey a message. This is beyond a joke. I'm sorry? This poor excuse for a lawyer has absolutely no evidence to support his claims.
Though of course, if my learned friend were able to present the court with a second disc, that'd be another matter. Well,
I can't at the moment.
and may I remind the court that as a witness has pointed out, he was not the one in the omnibus with McGilded 2 months ago, striking the deal over the disc or discs.
Indeed, that was Mr. Mason, the brickmaster.
Exactly. I had nothing whatsoever to do with it.
Though it has holes, I must agree that the argument presented by the defense has much promise. Whether the cross-examination should continue. The link between Graydon and the victim of the omnibus case must be there somewhere. I haven't found it yet.
Oh dear. Looks like you need to give your argument more strength, Bruno.
You reiterate your testimony if you please, Mr. Graydon.
If I must, though I must maintain exactly what I did at the start of this pointless cross-examination.
Alright, well, let's continue. So 2 months ago in the omnibus, Yoda killed the brickmaster and stole the disc.
Mr. Mason was a single man with almost nothing to his name.
Oh my, I might have to sneeze. False alarm.
It seems he lived in an artisan quarter some years ago, but people there remember little about him.
Doesn't make much sense though, does it? How would a humble brickmaster come to go acquire secret government information?
How indeed.
There must have been somebody else involved behind the scenes in all this. Somebody who acquired the disc and gave it to Mr. Mason in order to take it to the meeting with McGilded and negotiate a deal.
Dear me. You may have it in for me, sir, but I assure you, I have far more class than that.
Oh, we're just speculating at this point. It's not good for a court of law. No brickmaster from an artisan quarter, and this well-to-do communications officer. Well, I can find some evidence to link the two of them together. Gee, I wonder what. There's nothing more to add on that note. Let's return to the witness testimony. I'm actually gonna look at the history. To link the two of them together. I'm just making sure. Did Ryunosuke say something about linking them back here? We haven't found it yet. Okay.
Hold it!
Well, let's just continue through this then. Like Mr. Graydon told you to do, you mean?
That's it, yeah. Who else, eh? Silly me thought it was just popping up over another after all them years, but the rudder had a dodgy job for us. Ish.
Let me stop you there, Mr. Skulkin. After all them years, you say? Oh no. Do you mean to tell me that Mr. Graydon is an acquaintance of yours?
Well, those kind of panties, you know. Sure, as I say, greater than old China. What?
What the heck is going on? There's
Excuse me.
so many things in this testimony. This testimony. Is something wrong, Mr. Skulkin?
Eh?
No, the other Mr. Skulkin.
What? Who, me?
When your brother was testifying just now, he said something that seemed to cause you to react.
Oh, I wasn't remembering the old days, that's all. We used to have a right old laugh together way back then.
Together? With Mr. Graydon, you mean?
Yeah, with us, I mean. But look at him now, he's fancy with someone who flew and you would. I believe it.
Why do you have a pair? I've never seen you with a pair.
But when he was younger, it was from the poor part. Oh,
I didn't see that. I pushed X too early.
but when he was younger, he was from the poor part of the town, just like us.
Oh gosh. That's so. I see you with that apple.
But he was always on everyone. Praise. He had the shabby.
Sorry, I'm trying to make him sound like he's eating an apple.
Oh, he can't have a smart idea like what they would never have gone to our heads. God blimey, ain't that the truth? Remember Merverton Skulkin's milk run? It was a cork, eh?
Save it until after the trial. Your reminiscing has no place in this courtroom. And neither does your fruit.
Oh, in the case there answers the question, didn't he? And where was answering? Yeah, we ain't done nothing wrong.
Nevertheless. Oh, psst. Nevertheless, the court is not prepared to accompany you on your trip down memory lane. Counsel, can we turn our attention back to the testimony, please? Oh no. Could that sentimental story be relevant somehow? Add to the testimony. Always add stuff to the testimony. My lord. Yes, counsel. The brother's last sentimental statement could hold vital information relating to this case. Very well, counsel. However, permit the brothers to supplement their testimony with that detail. Briefly, Ace, and add.
Say no more. A Skulkin never a Skulkin. Merverton Skulkin's milk run. Go over them were the days.
Hold it!
Who the heck is Milverton? I'm sure I'm going to regret asking, but what exactly was that? Some kind of business?
His little scheme we got going back when we was youngsters. Bit of fun, really. Delivering fresh milk to the locals, that's what it was all about.
Oh, you're a milkman. Sounds alarmingly legitimate. There must be a catch. I suppose since we're here, I should ask them to elaborate. But on what? Oh, what? The business name. Like, what the heck? Wilverton. I don't know who Wilverton is. So this business was just a bit of fun, you say? And it was just yourself that Mr. Graydon involved?
Yeah, that's it.
Milverton and Skulkin's Milk Run, was it?
Yeah, that's it.
And where did the Milverton part come from?
Alright, I thought clever cogs like you have worked that one out. Is it?
Enough of this. How much longer are we expected to listen to this drivel? I
Objection.
don't. Let me guess. You don't accept anything these two witnesses are saying? Tell me, why is it that it was only at the mention of the name Milverton that you decided to interject? Because well,
And what the happenings of homes is that one come from? Yeah, your old man was struggling for money so much, his wife walked out on him. She took the name Graydon, didn't she? Might as well always be Milverton to us.
Milverton. Why do you keep changing names? First we see your name is Eggert Benedict. Now then we had Ash Graydon, and now we have freaking Milverton. So that used to be your surname, did it? Of course not. This is all bumpkin. I've been at Grayson since I was born. Do you really think you can rely on the testimony of these two thieves?
You're a communications officer attached to the civil service. As such, your personal details will have been thoroughly checked at the time of your appointment. It would be a very simple matter indeed to subpoena those records, Mr. Graydon.
Ah, well, it would appear that Mr. and Mr. Skulkin's testimony has been reliable, for once. You're born Ashley Milverton, then. Is that correct? Very well, yes. So Ashley Graydon was once Ashley Milverton. That information could change things. It could turn out to be extremely important. Ashley Graydon's personal profile has been updated. Okay, he's still being referred to as Graydon. All of a sudden, we seem to be up to our necks in a serious matter of national security. Although, all this talk about interception of secret government messages is still conjecture at this stage.
It would explain a number of things, though, wouldn't it? Negotiation Ginny overheard on the omnibus 2 months ago, and the breaking at Winnipegs. But the trouble is, it wasn't Mr. Green in the omnibus with Mr. McGilded.
No, that was Mr. Mason, the prickmaster, who was so horribly murdered.
If only there was some link between the two men somehow.
I know. Mr. Graydon's testimony seems to be as watertight as ever. One of the key to us making headway with the cross-examination here. Could be those two brothers. Okay. I haven't pressed this yet.
Hold it!
So did you know nothing about this music box?
We don't know nothing. We don't know nothing. And we ain't planning to know nothing about it neither.
2 nights ago, you did indeed break into Winterbank's pawnbrokery, didn't you? In your original testimony, you said that the door to the shop was ajar, and that it was like some kind of a sign begging you to go in. But the truth is, you were planning to break into the Winterbanks all along, weren't you?
Where were I going? We were. You're right there. And that's what we told us to do. It was his plan.
And why was it Mr. Graydon's plan to break into Winterbanks that night? Did you not ask the reason?
Well, man. He said the place was what? The place was full of stuff for Dickin. That's what he told us before anyway. A cobbler's. Trying to be a little cobbler, didn't it? I want best please, I can tell you.
In any case, no, the real reason. It doesn't sound like they're gonna give it away. Okay. So apparently he had nothing to say on this. Well, I can't exactly present his argument. I can't exactly present his profile. What if I press this? Because now I have your information. Damn it, okay. I don't think I have to present anything. We don't have a second music disc either. But you did. I didn't mean to push that button. Hold on, hold on. However, as the difference has just demonstrated, music box is able to play a second disc simultaneously, which means that there's a possibility that the device could in fact have been used to produce Morse code.
Objection.
My deputy's friend forced me to repeat myself. The courtroom is no place for mere possibilities. Present the second disc in which you speak, or your argument is dead in the water.
I just can't do that at this time.
In Merriman the court, as the witness has pointed out, he was not the one in the omnibus with McGilda 2 months ago, striking a deal of the disc or discs.
Indeed, that was Mr. Mason, the brickmaker. Exactly, I knew nothing whatsoever to do with it.
So as my learned friend appears to be persisting with this line of argument, presume the defense is able to show a connection between the brickmaker, and this witness.
He's got me. To find a decisive piece of evidence here, or it's all over. So I'm supposed to present something here that connects the two of them. I don't have anything like that, not yet at least. I was gonna press this, see if there's anything different. No? Okay, fine. Well, there is your statement. If I can just continue a statement. Okay. Hold on. Enough. Enough. Why don't you baddies assist with the fiction? Obviously, I don't know these men from Adam. Now, for the last time, stop trying to implicate me in your sort of thievery.
Well, it's blooming nice, isn't it? You little turncoat. Fine, if that's how you want, Tipper can play at that game. We never heard of this geezer before either. Don't know him from Adam. Never spoken to him before in my life. Never even seen him. Never, Nash, never.
Good grief. Such a blatant lie will not stand in my courtroom.
Well, I say this.
Okay, that did nothing for me. Well, it seems like I have to present something here. Well, not on this statement. What does it say? What makes it? Oh, what? Okay, something in here actually needs. Yeah, something in here needs to say like Ashley whatever his new name is. That says for McGilded. There's nothing There's nothing engraved on the back. Let's open. Let's try opening this. No. See how the Formiga just sits at the music box of the man deposited at Windibanks? Gonna be more perfect fit.
So there's no question that the disc was designed to be playing this music box.
Despite that, the sounds produced on neither musical nor they appear to have any meaning. It just doesn't make any sense.
I wonder. Perhaps there's much more to music.
I know. Hold on, maybe I could ask about the other thing.
Hold it!
There were two things here to ask about. Oh, so how'd your little business work exactly? Okay, this is convenient.
Well, morning down the way the milkman will come with his cart to sell the milk, see? If Chuck your empties outside your front door, he will leave you to the forward again, right? So, it's with interaction. Got people to sign up with us. We promise to deliver milk for half the price of the other geese doing it. People couldn't wait to sign the door line. We're breaking in, we were.
So did you live on a dairy farm or something?
Go on, Benno, you're off your rocket. We had nothing. We were to board ever for.
Right.
Nah, where we are going on was simple once you had the idea. We just switch them over, see? Our customers empties with full ones from anyone that wasn't in the books. I do it alright.
I think you meant to say a diddle. That's a crime.
It was just a harmless bit of fun, that's all.
Milking the general public in such a fashion is most certainly not harmless, as you put it. Haha, get it? Milk in the general public because of delivering milk. Haha.
What came over the door? I was the evil genius.
You mean Mr. Graydon? So Ashley Graydon was once Ashley Milverton. That information could change things. Could turn out to be extremely important. Okay. I've already seen this. So, Milverton. The Baskervilles. There's a page sticking up over here. No? Okay, it's nothing. What'd you say about this again? None of the best. Perhaps Mr. Sholmes is a family friend of someone who has that name or something? Huh. The Hound of the Narutos. I guess I could have voice acted that, but I don't feel. I thought I had read that already. That's why I didn't. Milverton. It's not nowhere close to Baskerville. I don't have anything. I think on the autopsy. Well, the autopsy shouldn't have anything to do with this. What about the newspaper article? Hmm. What do we have here? We can found deceased in the Alaska job in a bus on the day of the stabbing. Mason. Oh, okay, I see now. Mason Milverton. Uh. Yeah, I got it. I got it. Okay.
Objection.
Mr. Ashley Milverton. Tell me, why'd you try to hide your former name from the court? Because I haven't gone by that name for years. It means nothing to me. No, I don't think that's a real explanation at all. The truth is, you had a reason to hide that name. Explain yourself, please, counsel. I have here the notes from the omnibus case, my lord. And as we know, the victim, the man who we now know, understand to have been negotiating with McGilded, is Mr. Mace, the brickmaker. I keep saying brickmaster, it's brickmaker. That's right. Only Mason wasn't his surname at all. It was his given name. His full name was Mason Milverton. Milverton? Do you mean to say Saint's alive? Mr. Ashley Milverton, is it not the case that the brickmaker, Mr. Mason Milverton, was your father? No, I don't. As I believe I mentioned earlier, your family history will have been thoroughly checked when you joined the civil service, and it really would take no time at all for the court to subpoena those records. Truth is, you have been illegally acquiring highly confidential government information and selling it on to McGilded in collaboration with your father. Hold on, I just want to. I never actually did get a chance to check what it says. Telegraph officer, blah, blah, his name was once Milverton years ago. Charles from the school brother. Okay, cool. The new facts and evidence unveiled by the cross-examination of this witness all come together to reveal the truth. The truth, you say? That you collaborated with your father, Mr. Mason Milverton, in illegal dealings with Magnus McGilded. By means of this music box, you mean, counsel? Yes, stealing information, being sent in secret government communications, and selling it to McGilded. Mr. Graydon concocted this elaborate scheme of using 2 music box discs to encode the information as, presumably, a safety measure against the information falling into the wrong hands. And a very effective one. I shouldn't have given the scheme any credence whatsoever. But the deal with McGilded went sour. The brickmaker met his end. Yes, before he was arrested, McGilded managed to temporarily dispose of the stolen disc at the pawnbroker. Then, having learned of the situation, you appeared at Windibank's 2 days ago, in an attempt to recover the 2 articles McGilded had placed in pawn there. But that attempt failed. One of the discs was seized by the police, and the other, you never found. So that same night, You enlisted the help of the Skulk brothers and broke into the pawnbrokery. This time, determined to recover the second disc. Are you suggesting that the second disc was inside the music box?
We don't know about it.
On the night when Mr. Winnerbake was killed, the intruder to the pawnbrokery touched one item and one item alone, the music box. That's rather ingeniously demonstrated using the 2 prints from the security camera indeed. So the question that naturally begs answering is this. Why was only that one article distributed, or disturbed? The answer is obvious, because it contained the second disc, which the intruder was desperate to retrieve. Since, if it were to fall in the wrong hands of the police, it would be proof of high treason. Well, Mr. Graydon, do you deny all this actually began on that fateful night 2 months ago? I refuse to accept any of this nonsense. Sir, there appears to be blood seeping through the sleeve of your jacket. Oh no, I just noticed that. What? 2 nights ago, we know that 3 shots were fired at the scene of the crime in Winnebank's pawnbrokery. One took the life of the pawnbroker himself. One struck the pouch around Mr. Sholmes' waist. And the final bullet struck the calendar on the wall of the shop, having first pierced the arm of one of the intruders. Mr. Graydon, that wound on your arm that you seem to be trying to hide, it's a bullet wound, isn't it?
He's got you now, me old China. Time to go and quit the croak, I reckon.
Don't acknowledge my presence there under any circumstances whatsoever. Those were my terms, remember? I paid you handsomely to comply. Clearly, I was a fool to think I could trust some common back slum thieves. Fine, I'll admit it. I was there in Winnebags that night. And I paid this pair 10 guineas to accompany me. Whoa! And as you've noticed, I sustained an injury in the course of my adventures. You're gonna say you didn't actually shoot the guy then. But that is all. I admit to nothing more. Yeah. Stealing government secrets, negotiating with Mr. McGill. As God is my witness, I'm sure I recall nothing of the sort. He's not gonna go down without a fight. Not until I can show hard evidence, I suppose. Nevertheless, the defense has now established a crucial fact. Which is? Well, we know that one bullet was fired from each of the 2 firearms we have in evidence. The bullet from the Skulk brothers' gun hit the pouch around Mr. Sholmes' waist. And the bullet from Mr. Winnebank's gun clearly must have been the one that caught Mr. Graydon on the arm. Indeed it must. We can rule out the possibility that the man shot himself. And that leads us to only one conclusion. Mr. Winnebank was shot by a 3rd gun, which could only have been fired by the 3rd intruder. Goodness. That's right, Mr. Graydon. The only person who could have possibly shot Mr. Winnebank that night is you.
Hold it!
Who said that? You little upstart. Made a great mistake when you summoned me here. What? What's that supposed to mean?
Yes, as you rightly say, I was there at the pawnbrokers. I did my best to hide the fact, naturally. I had no intention of ruining the distinguished career I built for myself at the communication station. But did the thought never cross your mind? Did you never consider the possibility? What do you mean? What thought? What possibility? The possibility that if I was there at the scene, I may witness the crucial moment. You see, this makes me a key witness in this case, and I have my hands firmly around my neck of your client.
What? Oh, now you're shifting the blame to re. Why can't I remember her name? Jeez. Gina. That's what. Oh, are you suggesting?
I saw it all. I saw the very moment the pickpocket girl pointed the gun at the poor defenseless pawnbroker and shot him.
What? Order, order, order. Well, it would seem we are finally entering the last act of this theoretical trial. Okay, cool.
Mr. Graydon,
Yes.
I trust you are fully aware of the implications here. If it is shown that your claim is false, you will have incriminated yourself as the killer.
I think Von Zieks I think Von Zieks actually knows the truth, and is probably telling Graydon to just admit it.
Oh, I understand fully.
Well, maybe he's not trying to get him to speak his matter on to stop right now. Just admit it. But I'm pretty sure at this point the prosecution knows.
Then I must ask you to give your formal testimony once more. And explain to the court precisely what you saw at the moment the defendant allegedly shot the victim. Nothing would give me greater pleasure.
Should we get something for your arm? Well, either way, your white suit is ruined.
While these ruffians were jostling with the broker, I was still near the entrance of the shop. When Winnebago threw Nash over the counter, I felt a sharp pain in my arm. I pursued the man, but he shut himself in the storeroom. I could see him through the peephole in the door, though. The accused in a black coat shot the man in the back as he was trying to flee to safety. I saw the blood splatter all over the wretched girl. Then she tossed the gun out of the peephole, so I picked it up and made my escape.
Good gracious. This is quite an extraordinary testimony. Good claim, sir. Under oath, to have clearly seen the defendant pulling the trigger. Press X to doubt. Do I have big doubt here? Let me just see here. Yeah, I do. Okay. Order, order, order.
It wasn't my intention to testify in this way. But neither is it my intention to be found guilty of a murder I didn't commit. So you see, my hand has been forced. I'll tell the truth now as an act of self-preservation.
I'm gonna take a drink here. The truth?
Until now, the prosecution was completely unaware of these details.
Yes, you are. Sorry about that.
Having shot me in the arm, the pawnbroker was then shot in the back by the accused. And as I said, she was showered in his blood.
See the blood splatter. You see the blood splatter all over the accused's coat? Are you sure on that point?
Oh yes, quite sure. All of the black overcoat the pickpocket girl was wearing at the time.
Really? If her coat could somehow be shown to harbor vestiges of blood, that'd be conclusive evidence here.
I don't think she... Such an investigation is entirely possible, my lord.
What?
Only very recently, a German scientist has developed a technique to identify human blood. So here's the true science, not some amateurish detective's dubious foray into the world of chemistry.
Oh, great. It's some scientists just invent luminol or something.
There's nothing dubious about Hurley's work. His ideas are all sound.
Ideas are no use to us here. In science, as in law, theories must be proven before they stand. In Germany, the technique has already been employed in the courtroom as the basis of evidence. Scotland Yard is a small quantity of the chemical reagent used, with your lordship's permission. We could shatter all vestiges of doubt within minutes.
This doesn't look good, Bruno.
Why not?
Well, we know, don't we, that there's blood all over the front of Ginny's coat. They tested with the chemicals.
Oh, I'll be alright. Just forgetting what happened yesterday. No, no, no. Oh, yeah, we did spray her. It was purple blood, though. But that's not Mr. Winterbank's blood. The stain is from 2 months ago. That's Mr. Mason's blood from when he was stabbed by Miss Gilded, who was wearing the coat at the time. My lord, the defense objects to the test proposed by the prosecution. Overruled. Lord Von Zeeks, make it so at once.
With pleasure, my lord.
While we await the results, defense may proceed with the cross-examination. Well, they could spray the coat with luminol, but can they identify whose blood it is? Once they find the blood on that overcoat, Gina will be... Counsel. Yes, my lord. Your cross-examination. Of course, my lord. This cross-examination doesn't go well. If I don't manage to uncover some decisive evidence or a really compelling clue now, I have a very bad feeling about the outcome of this trial. Looking for a save. I haven't saved in a while.
Hold it!
Mr. Wintermake emerged from the storeroom, I believe. Ringo Nash was scouring the counter when he suddenly appeared and flew at them. He'd already had the revolver in his hand. Fortunately, it wasn't too close.
I never been so scared all my life. Yeah, we're just irregular man burglars, that's all. We don't like violence.
Says the pair carried a gun. What do you mean when you say you were near the entrance to the shop? I was in the doorway, running my eyes over the shelves of forfeited items. Look for the music box, of course. The broker went for Nash in the first place. Then Ringo joined in, making it 2 against 1. So I assumed they could handle the situation. But I was wrong.
I was trying to help me both brothers, but the old geese took me over to blow my counter. So I got we got on the old fella, and that shoe made him sharper.
A pair of you setting upon the poor defenseless pawnbroker then? Shame on you!
There we go.
Hold it!
You mean that's the moment you were shot? Yes. Though I didn't immediately realize what had happened, of course. Things crashed to the floor on the counter as the 3 men were brawling. It was exactly at the moment that it happened. Then I hear the gunshot. And the bullet went on to strike the counter and the wall behind you. So it appeared. When I looked at my arm, I saw it was bleeding badly, so I wrapped my handkerchief around it. That handkerchief's ruined. Seeing as I couldn't explain what happened to a doctor, I had no choice but to wait for it to heal. I imagine it would still be bleeding 2 days later.
Did Mr. Winterberg intend to shoot at you, do you think?
Well, now, I don't imagine he didn't even notice I was there, to be honest. Perhaps the gun went off accidentally. Anyway, it didn't quite strike home.
When I pulled my gun on him, he tried to shove me on the way. And when I grabbed him through the door about.
At which point, what'd you do?
Hold it!
You mean you chased after him? I don't recall the reason why, but I ran after him to the back of the shop. What about this people in the door you mentioned?
Well, I'm surprised. The store was a door. Storm doing a solid job. Missed out wood. But there's a small opening in there about head height. As you see what's in there from the outside.
Actually, I should know that, shouldn't I? I looked through it myself that night. Fair enough.
And what about your burgling brothers? Did you see what went on to these people as well?
Not likely, Gov. I need to know Gov.
I doubt these two buffoons were even aware of the people's existence. So the Skulkin brothers were there, but they didn't see the killing of Mr. Winterberg take place. Inside the storeroom, I can see the broker and that young girl standing there. That offended? Yes. No need to notice I was looking. The girl raised her gun and pointed straight at the man. And then, what'd you see next?
Hold it!
Yes, when the crime was discovered, the defendant was found with a gun in her hand. And that was Mr. Winterbank's gun, from which only a single bullet had been fired. And as we've already established, Mr. Graydon, that bullet was fired at you. Yeah, but no, it wasn't the broker's gun that the pickpocket girl had when I saw her. Yes, the bullet from Winterbank's gun grazed my arm, and yes, the Skulkin's gun grounded the detective. But this was another gun entirely. A third gun.
The broker's gun was not a murder weapon, so clearly there is a third firearm involved. In other words, the accused must have had her own gun with her at the time.
Objection!
But no other gun was found at the scene. Calm yourselves, counsel. Sorry. You must consider the offense in order. At first I saw the broker and the girl glaring at each other. Then all of a sudden, the broker turned to run. It was at that moment the little gutter rat shot him in the back. Chilling image, I must say.
Hold it!
All over? Yes, through the people I saw clearly. Of course, the stains are invisible now. What with the coat being such a dark color. But I assure you, the garment is soiled with the victim's blood. Well, it is soiled with blood, that's for sure.
But it's not Mr. Winterbank's blood, is it?
No, that's right. It's Mr. Mason Milverton's blood from when Miss Gilda stabbed him 2 months ago.
So annoying! They'd only accept Hurley's chemical analysis. We could prove that.
But they won't. So unfortunately, we can't use it as evidence to support our case.
Bother!
Oh, bother.
I can't do a Winnie the Pooh voice. I'm sorry. Did I hear you correctly? She threw the gun out of the room? That's right. As the broker fell to the floor, she started walking over. Over where exactly? The direction of the storeroom door, where I was watching. course, I quickly retreated, and then the girl dropped the gun through the peephole onto the floor on my side of the door. Oh, why on earth would she do such a thing? I couldn't tell you. Perhaps she was hoping to distance herself from the murder weapon. As I was thinking, I went and picked it up. Sometimes I was worried about just leaving it there, in case any more tragedies took place.
So it was you, in fact, who took the third gun from the scene of the crime?
Yes, it was yours truly. I'll have to clear up to my lackeys and left. Clear up?
I made a bit of a mess around the counter, so Mr. Whistling Flute here told her to tidy it up. He thinks he's a blooming mom sometimes.
Well, I was paying you enough, by God.
Ugh.
Tell me, Mr. Graydon, when you left the pawnbrokery that night, was it by any chance with the second disc in your jacket pocket?
You little toe rag!
Okay. You're like a bull at a gate, aren't you?
What the heck is going on here?
Excuse me.
Gentlemen.
Something's wrong, Sunshine.
Should be my line. You do realize you're just violently shaking Mr. Skulkin?
Blimey, he did a bit of a hooligan, ain't he?
What was going on just now?
He saw him and grabbed me whistle. Why in blazes, he said, didn't you mention the third gun when we got you down to the station?
And why didn't you?
Cause we all know about it. The flaming people that in the door.
Ugh. Sorry about that. I can be prone to lose my rag sometimes. Not hurt, are you?
Oh, blimey. In the way he's looking at me, I'm telling you, this dude gave me the willies.
Sorry, I need a drink and I pushed the wrong button. Let's continue. That was strange. The inspector doesn't normally get quite as worked up as that. He wouldn't normally grab someone.
No, that wasn't like Cranksy at all. He's normally all sweetness and light, no matter what I say to him.
Yes, well, I think he might be a special case, Iris.
Well, anyway, that's definitely out of character.
My lord! Oh, damn it. Requesting your lordship's permission to interrupt the cross-examination. Explain yourself, officer. That was also the test that was ordered earlier, my lord.
The blood on the accused overcoat.
Thank you, officer. Very well. The cross-examination is hereby temporarily suspended. I presume you have no objection, counsel? No, my lord. Please tell me they can at least identify which blood it is.
Well, there you have it.
Report, please, Inspector.
Yes, sir. Traces of human blood were found on the overcoat of the defendant, Miss Gina Lestrade. For the extent of the stains, would appear that they were the results of splattering following a gunshot wound. In the report.
Goodness me. But how was Mason killed again? See? What did I tell you? How was Mason killed? I'm trying to remember. He was stabbed, I'm pretty sure. That's not good. No, blood on the coat is not Mr. Winterbanks. What on earth makes you say that, Counsel? The coat originally belonged to Magnus McGilded. Just before his coat was deposited at Winterbanks, McGilded had fatally stabbed Mr. Mason Milverton. So the blood on the overcoat is the blood of the brickmaker on the omnibus case.
Well, the dead cannot speak. It is not right, my Nipponese friend.
Sorry.
Yeah, unfortunately, we don't have spirit mediums in this land yet. 2 months ago, this very courtroom. Did you not argue fervently for Mr. McGilded's innocence? And now that the man is dead, you brand him as a murderer. Your conduct shatters any shred of respect you may have earned for yourself in this country.
But that was...
I got a body disgrace. Treachery is what it is.
I didn't determine whether the blood on the coat is 2 months old or not. Even a stereoscope can't help the answer to that problem, Papa. It can't be done! But...
Greetings, Mr. Sholmes, special...
Mr. Sholmes is a detective, not a chemist.
For such reason, the chemical formula devised by me, for example, one of my communications officer. I held up Perlsky, my starving boy, and he ran away crying.
Herlock Sholmes is barely more than a figment of the public's imagination. His name carries no weight in this courtroom. No weight at all.
How could you say that? Victory is sweet indeed. This proves that my testimony is the whole truth from start to finish. How do you arrive at such a conclusion, sir?
As the witness said, the accused coat was splattered with the blood of the victim. The only way Mr. Grainer could possibly have known that fact is if he saw it happen. In other words, his testimony saw it, and this conclusion is singular. It was the accused who shot the victim in this case. That is the whole truth.
My lord!
Oh, been a long battle this one. But the old warhouse horse is something to say now. If you
Oh no. No. Okay, we're gonna do another one of these then. Mr. Foreman.
At this moment, sir, the squadron has reached its final decision. Ready, men? Off right now.
Sir!
Guilty.
Guilty.
Guilty. Guilty.
Guilty.
Guilty.
Well, it would appear that the ladies and gentlemen of the jury have reached a unanimous verdict. Hopefully there's no rule for TKO.
The defense has consistently failed to unpick this witness's testimony. Here's there in any attempt you may make at unpicking the jury's decision being equally successful.
Ah! I don't believe it. After I've come so far, how's it all unraveling on me so fast? How very distressing to be held in such low esteem. Oh, hi. Wouldn't you agree, Mr. Naruto? Oh, hi. Officer? You did the report now. That'll be all, thank you. Curse me with some regularity, Mr. Naruto. That scientific truths are determined not by science, but by the human mind. I know that voice. Am I going mad? Ah! Hi. Mr. Sholmes? What is the meaning of this? Order!
What business do you have here, detective? The last I heard, you were recuperating in hospital.
As I would be, had I not
been set upon an errand.
What errand?
Hooray! It's really you! You're awake at last!
Yes, good day, Iris. I appear to be rather late to rise. My apologies. Now, my lord, if you are humoring,
What manner, sir?
I have something of great importance I wish to give the young lawyer over there. I need no more than 5 minutes. Would you be so kind as to spare us the time?
What say you to this, Lord Von Zeeks?
This trial has taken many hours of the court's time. We spent so long already.
Exactly. Our spent so long already, we don't want to go waste any more precious time.
As I was saying, having spent so long already, it would be so churlish to deny the defense a mere 5 minutes.
Ah!
Very well then. Counsel, you have 5 minutes. Oh, you took 2 minutes just to put on that outfit.
My dear fellow, I apologize for my tardy arrival.
Mr. Sholmes, are you alright now? Alright, I'm all wrong. Sorry. Only just managed to summon the strength to stand, man.
I have to judge for 5 minutes. But I fear that may prove to be too much for me. Pray forgive me should I pass out.
Let's make this discussion as short as possible.
Really, this place is full of idiots. Now that we can see how wonderful your chemical blood analysis is.
Ah well, the concoction of mine was really just a bit of sport to assist me in my investigations. Never took the trouble to refine it for appraisal by the scientific community. Never signed on my part.
Right. Modesty? Surely not.
But enough of that. I'm here to give you this, my dear fellow.
What's this? A lavender furoshiki wrapping? Okay, cool.
A leaving present from Mr. Sato.
Aww. For Mr. Sato?
If possible, matters were to be settled without giving me you this.
Oh, okay, I see. That's what happened late at night. In that one scene, okay.
Those were instructions when she asked me to do her this favor.
I don't understand.
Mr. Sato foresaw today's events, I believe. Do you know that the culprit would attempt to escape justice by means both devious and underhand? That you, Mr. Naruto, fighting fairly as you wont to do. What the? That you, Mr. Naruto, fighting fairly as you want to do, would find yourself in considerable peril.
This music.
At the very moment of crisis, you would be given this small parcel.
Oh, this song's actually getting really good.
Those were the DLA's instructions.
Leaving present from Sasato's side. What could it be? What is this?
Oh! It's this machine I made!
Ah!
I barely remember this. The cat? Oh, what? Why did she give me the cat flapper back?
What's Susie up to?
Mrs. Sato muttered the final words before she left. I'm a failure. I don't deserve to be a digital assistant.
What? Didn't she say something like that? Oh, I guess she did say that. Whatever did you mean by that, Mr. Sholmes?
Then when you left Winterbanks in pursuit of the leaves. Mrs. Sato made use of this contraption for a certain purpose. That is your answer, dear fellow.
Not all cryptic then. Oh, what? Did they create that flap later? Sasato used this cat flap magic that night. But why? Cat Ah, crap. I think I know what's going on.
Your 5 minutes is over.
I need to check something before. Yeah, there's nothing on the freaking door. We're out of time already. I'm grateful for you affording us that brief recess, Mr. Reaper. Mr. Reaper.
I need no thanks, Detective. After all, the die is cast.
Is that really?
The jurors are unanimous in their leanings. No doubt my learned friend will consider a summation examination. But any attempt to alter the verdict now would be utterly futile.
Aren't we haven't we suspended the cross-examination? I wonder. Mr. Naruhodo. Yes? The rest is down to you, dear fellow. What is your plan? The rest is down to me. Oh no, hold on. I need to be careful here. If I make the wrong move, the trial will end badly. Oh crap! I'm glad I saved it. My lord, the defense requests time to think. I think we were temporarily stop the cross-examination. I'm gonna try that. Further cross-examination.
Objection!
The jurors have spoken. Protocol dictates that you may not cross-examine a new witness now.
The defense is not asking for the cross-examination of a new witness, rather to continue with one of an existing witness.
What?
It would appear that a rather important detail has escaped your attention, Mr. Reaper. Oh, we just flashed back to the few moments ago.
So nobody can say anything then. If Frodo asks to resume his cross-examination with Mr. Graydon,
The court is obliged to allow it.
This is absurd.
I knew it. I would remind those present that this is my courtroom. I concur that the defense is entirely within its rights to request the continuation of the cross-examination. However, I will not permit an unremitted protraction of these proceedings. Therefore, I decide to afford the defense one final opportunity, including this cross-examination. Counsel, you must choose but one statement from the witness testimony. Oh no.
I'm scared.
I'm actually going to keep the other one. Just in case. And but one piece of evidence to present in support of your argument against it. A single chance to present evidence. If following that the situation remains unchanged, I should move to adjudication. Is that clear, counsels? You will not press the witness any further.
My lord.
Yes, my lord. I might have to sneeze. What's with these false alarm sneezes? My nose has been like really stuffy today. I hope I'm not coming down with anything. A single statement and a single piece of evidence. Most generous.
Well then, Mr. Naruto, it's high time I found out that fate. Leave this in your capable hands.
Oh no, I didn't mean to push that button. I meant to do this. Miss, Mr. Schultz! To Sanzo, ins- inso- insouciantly before the court in a state of such high fever. Either the man had extraordinary strength of mind or an extraordinary lack of feeling.
I imagine he's feeling very little now. The detective is sleeping soundly in one of the antechambers.
Strike a man when he's down, why don't you? Well then, counsel, are you fully prepared? Yes, and I'm actually gonna say properly here. Because I feel like I'm on the right track, so I'm just gonna say both. One statement, one piece of evidence. I won't let Mr. Sholmes down, or Iris. And I won't waste this final chance that Susato-san has given me. This is going to decide the entire outcome of the trial. Very well then. Under the terms I have outlined, you may resume the cross-examination. What is the song? Well, let me just see here. Whew, those vicious teeth look like I could rip through almost anything.
They're good, aren't they? They're made of a special alloy developed just for this job. The cutter rotates 10 times per second so I can get through any kind of door in no time at all.
And what are the two parts at the top there?
Those are for attaching hinges to the section of the door that gets cut out.
Right, of course.
Nothing can make this machine. Nothing can match this machine for power. It can make mincemeat of even the toughest of doors.
It sounds so charming and friendly when it say what it's for, but I feel like the reality of the cat flap man is that it's a grim weapon of door destruction.
Why, guy's so adorable. There's nothing I wouldn't do for him, even developing deadly weapons.
Okay, let's see here. Zoom for the people in the door. Well, here's the issue with this. Hold on. I think this is like. Wait a minute. There's something there. Oh no! Oh, I see here. Okay. She flat out cut the. I didn't even notice that before. It's like she did flat out cut that. Okay.
Objection.
Oh, what? No. Hold on. Reset. I'm dead. Mm. Do I just present this?
Objection.
Yeah, okay. Right thing, but wrong. object, right thing that brought wrong evidence. What on earth is that eccentric contraption, Council?
Oh, it's my cat flipping man, my lord. Makes a way for cats to get in and out of a room. And cut through any door you can think of. And make a new little door in the middle of it.
Yes, my lord. It's a device for creating so-called cat flaps. Small doors for cats to come and go as they please without their owners having to open. I'm sure we can all work that out for ourselves. But that cat lover's contraband has no possible relevance to this case. Oh, really? Of course it isn't. To start with, there's no cat flap in the pawnbroker's door. Not being a keeper of cats myself, I'm afraid I fail to see what this has to do with the matter at hand. Perhaps it would help if I described its function another way then. This contraption is able to create a peephole in any door you can imagine in practically no time at all. Yeah, I beg your pardon. A peephole, you say? 2 nights ago, we arrived at the scene only minutes after the murder of Mr. Winterbank that had taken place.
That's right. According to the paperwork in the yard, it was you, your Japanese assistant, Sholmes.
Yes, the 3 of us were together, and it's recently come to my attention that my assistant made use of this device at the time. Your assistant did what? There was a peephole in the storeroom door. I can attest to that. Because I looked through the peephole myself in order to see inside the locked storeroom. This is ludicrous. What are you trying to say? Of course, there was a peephole in that door. I said as much in my testimony. How else could I have witnessed the crime, for pity's sake? Yes. How could you? What? Counsel, kindly say what you mean. Alright, it's time. Time to strike the final blow. What I mean is this, my lord. My assistant made the peephole in the storeroom door, and until such time as she did, the door had no hole in it to look through. What? No!
Objection!
This is a farce. Are you really suggesting that the peephole in the door was...
Yes, it was created only after the incident had taken place by my judicial assistant using this device. The assistant tampered with the crime scene whilst being fully aware of the gravity of her actions. That is a most serious act of vandalism. For which I humbly apologize, my lord. It was in the few minutes that I left the scene in order to pursue the Skulking Brothers and alert the police. Nevertheless, in the light of this new information, it becomes apparent that Mr. Graydon's testimony is riddled with holes. Haha, get it? Because of people. Haha. Riddled with? Explain yourself, counsel. The majority of Mr. Graydon's testimony that appears to incriminate the defendant is based upon what he witnessed through the peephole in the storeroom door. Yes, the filthy girl shooting the man in the back. However, if at the time of the incident, that peephole did not yet exist in the door, there's no possible way that you could have seen what you claim to have seen. In short, your entire testimony is a pack of lies. Ugh. Order, order, order. Is there any credence to this revelation?
Objection!
None whatsoever, as my learned friend surely realizes.
Exactly. Is this some cheap chick designed to discredit me? I'm afraid not, sir. Of course it is. Do you seriously expect people to believe that plaything can cut through a solid wooden door?
Oh yes, I designed it to be very powerful. It can cut through even the toughest of doors.
That's absurd. I don't believe it for a second.
I had a feeling you'd say that.
What?
Waggy cooey, time for dinner.
I was gonna say cut through the door of the courthouse, but apparently you've already done it.
Well,
Ah, young lady, this is the Old Bailey. One does not make cat flaps in the old paneling at the Old Bailey. I'm not done yet, don't worry. This doesn't mean that the people in the store door at the Winnebanks was made by your machine. And there's no way you can prove that it was.
No, but it's easy.
What?
Cat flap and the cat flap-o-matic creates all of a fixed size. And the dimensions of the Beatport Winnebags are all an exact match. Hee oh, Skulky's lost for words.
Excellent work, Iris. Thank you.
And now it's my student friend's turn to be lost for words, I feel. I believe your judicial assistant has already left the country for your Eastern Island home.
Well, yes, that's true.
You may have had some difficulty in establishing all the facts. For the sake of argument, let us assume the people has dimensions that are perfect fit for this contraption. In that case, when was the people cut? Prosecution demands proof of your answer.
I have proof. What is the purpose of your line of inquiry, Lord Van Zeeks?
It's very simple, my lord. The defense argues that the people was created after the incident using this device. But now that the perpetrator has returned to her native land, she cannot testify to the fact. There is no proof. And for as long as the defense remains unable to prove when the people was made, my learned friend's claim amounts to nothing more than a baseless accusation.
I have proof. Indeed, that is so, Lord Van Zeeks. Well, counsel, I have proof.
Don't give up now, Bruno. This is the time to create your own opening and force your way through.
I just got ahead of myself earlier. I don't know if I could do this, but I know one thing. Susato-san is the greatest judicial assistant in the world. Very well. The counsel for the defense will present evidence to support the claim they made. Proof that the people in the door of the Winnebago storeroom was created after the event and not before.
Take that!
What are you? I pray for the detective's infernal cameras again?
My judicial assistant, Mr. Sato Mikotoba, is an extremely intelligent and capable woman, which is why I never had any cause to doubt that she would have considered this scenario and made sure I had the necessary proof. And the necessary proof is this photographic print, counsel. This print shows the scene of the shop moments after the defendant entered the premises.
Agreed. And it also shows the accused mercilessly wielding a gun in the direction of the defenseless broker.
But more to the point, it pictures the storeroom door in the background. Let me see that print again. I don't believe it. This really is quite remarkable. The door to the storeroom is completely devoid of a people of any description. Mr. Graydon, you couldn't possibly have witnessed the crime as you claim to have done, because of the time it had happened. There was no people in the door. In other words, your testimony is a catalog of lies.
Ah!
Order, order, order. I'm satisfied that the defense has substantiated its claim beyond all reasonable doubt. This witness's testimony was entirely fallacious.
That's not the only thing we know beyond all reasonable doubt. My learned friend's assistant's guilt can no longer be denied. The woman tampered with a crime scene.
Shut up!
But more importantly,
Good lord, there's more Lord Von Zeeks?
the defense may have established a reprehensible instance of perjury. There's no proof that this man is the victim's killer.
Yes, that's right. What?
I was there at the scene. It's true. And I was shot in the arm. It's true. That's all. Yes. In fact, if you look at the circumstances, I am the victim here.
Oh, please, no! I don't believe this. But they're right, as it stands now. I don't have any definitive proof that he's the culprit.
Still, he can't worm his way out of it now.
Iris?
You know what they say. There's no point locking the cat's door after the cat's bolted.
And there goes the cat.
Isn't that right, Bruno? As Hurley always says, one lie begets another. No, wait. That might have been a line I wrote for him in one of my stories.
Well, no matter who said it first, you're right. Mr. Graydon, not only did you give false testimony to the court, but the lies you told make no sense.
Make no sense. What do you mean by such a remark?
What you said in your testimony reveals that you know something you shouldn't have known. Oh! In other words, there's a fundamental inconsistency in your statements.
What?
Objection!
This is provocative talk, counsel. Won't you enlighten the court? Explain this alleged inconsistency.
This is right. One lie begets another. The inconsistency is revealed by the lies in the witness statements. Hold on. It's getting really late. Hopefully I can finish this. They show that Mr. Graydon had knowledge of something that he shouldn't have known anything about. Namely, third gun, people, bloodstains on the coat. Oh, are we going to try to prove that he knew about the original bloodstains? That there was going to be blood on the Oh, okay. The bloodstains that were present on Miss Lestrade's coat.
That's right. The victim's blood splattered all over her when she shot him.
How could you possibly have known that?
Obviously, because I saw her do it to the people in the...
The point is not that you lied in your testimony, Mr. Graydon. It's the nature of the lie you concocted that is so revealing.
You're not making any sense.
Now let me ask you a simple question. How is it, Mr. Graydon, that you knew of the existence of the people in the storeroom door?
What? Well, obviously I...
The cat, you got your tongue, witness? People in the door was made after the incident occurred. Once I returned to the shop, having failed to catch the two burglars. Scotland's investigators arrived immediately. Oh, I guess I could have selected that one too, so I guess it didn't matter. Since the time of the police had been at Winterbanks constantly carrying out their investigation. Isn't that right, Inspector Gregson?
Yes, of course, sir. Our place is chock full of pod articles. My lads had to thoroughly examine them all. Look at them order to have officers working around the clock and shifts so we can get through it all.
And consequently, there's no way that you, Mr. Graydon, could have gained access to the shop. Therefore, you should have known nothing about the people in the storeroom door. The fact that its existence forms the basis of your testimony is completely inexplicable. Ugh.
Objection!
And yet, the fact remains that Mr. Graydon did maintain that he witnessed a crime take place through the people in the door.
How on earth is that possible?
Can I have a word, please, Lord Man 6?
Speak, Inspector.
It's just that I really ought to be getting back to the station now to put in my report. There's really nothing more I can add to this testimony. It's all the same to you.
Permission denied.
Oh?
It's not all the same to me, Inspector. Not at all. You remain exactly where you are until this trial concludes.
course, sir.
Mr. Graydon, why are you trying to leave there? Shouldn't know about the existence of that people. Which can only mean they must have been informed about it by somebody else. Ugh.
Objection!
Stop there, my lone friend. You realize, I trust, that the words you just uttered have extremely serious implications.
Yes. The defense believes that these details about the case that Mr. Graydon claims to have seen must have been revealed to him by a certain person before his testimony. In fact, considering a particular clue we have, there's really only one person that it could be. Who was the person in question, counsel? Who gave this witness details of the crime scene to facilitate his false testimony? I mean, it has to be him. He's got to be involved in this somehow. He's been very sketchy this entire trial. Truth is, it can only have been you, Inspector Gregson.
Objection!
You better have some proof to substantiate such a rash claim, my lone friend.
Consider the fact that we have only been aware of Mr. Ashley Graydon's identity for the last few hours. We learned of it during the course of the trial today. Indeed, preparations for his testimony were made with great urgency during our hour-long recess, while the police executed the subpoena and brought the man here from this communication station. And until that time, Mr. Graydon wouldn't have had no idea, no inkling that he would suddenly be required to appear in court. Are you suggesting that until such time as he was summoned? Yes, my lord. Till then, it's reasonable to assume he knew nothing of the people. It was only once Mr. Graydon was at the stand that he realized his position. That he would have to defend himself against the accusation that he was the third intruder.
You suggested to the court that while this trial was in progress that he received that information, so that he can commit perjury in order to save his skin.
Exactly. And the only person with knowledge of the investigation that he had any contact with is you, Inspector Gregson.
This is a blooming outrage. Why let me give away details of the investigation of this villainy?
What if you're a part of the whole government leakage?
Oh, I summoned her to his lordship's chambers during the recess in any case. Have you forgotten that?
Quite true. I had a number of questions regarding the events that transpired at the pawnbrokery. Which means
The first time that these two laid eyes on one another was after the proceedings resumed following the recess. Since then, they've been in full view of the stand, where such a list of discussions couldn't possibly have occurred.
well, they did whisper to each other.
Oh, I just remembered something, Bruno.
What is it, Iris?
There was one time before, wasn't there? I think it was when Ginny was testifying.
Oh yes, now that you mentioned it. When the bailiff was dispatched to retrieve Mr. McGiller's music box on the scene of the crime. That's it. During that testimony. They were whispering to each other. I remember finding it strange at the time. Mr. Green expected to seem to be having some kind of secret discussion. It would have been possible for you to give Mr. Green the information he needed then.
You two-rag, you're making this all up. Respector Scotland Yard Inspector for crying out loud. Why would I do something like that? Why am I giving away confidential details of the life of the bloke?
Admittedly, you wouldn't have had any reason to do something like that for no gain. But perhaps it was part of a deal of some kind. Then it starts to make more sense.
What deal, counsel?
I wonder if perhaps in exchange for the details about the people of the crime scene, Mr. Graydon had agreed to give a certain something to the inspector. Sure, I need not remind the inspector that, if found to be true, striking a deal of any kind with a witness would be considered a gross case of malfeasance. Malfeasance? I don't know what that is. I'm looking this up. Malfeasance. Wrongdoing. Especially by a public official. Oh. Okay, I see. I see. I see.
Where were I?
Objection!
It's becoming clear that jumping in with accusations with this is this Nipponese specialty.
I don't do that.
With the stakes so high, the prosecution is not prepared to listen to baseless charges. It is incumbent on the defense now to present evidence in support of this diabolical claim.
This is gonna... I hope this doesn't go, like, to 1 o'clock. Evidence?
Just what you propose as the inspector demanded of the witness in return. The court must see proof of this alleged deal.
Inspector Grayson really just tried to deal with Mr. Graydon. Then logically, it's only one thing he could have asked for. That must be it. I'm gonna save. I'm also gonna quiet down a little bit just so I don't wake anybody up. Don't bother anybody.
Bruno, do you think it could be?
Yes. This is the missing link that would join all the dots together in this puzzle. I must press you for an answer now, counsel. What evidence explains the nature of the alleged deal that Inspector Gregson made with the witness? I wonder. What did he hide? Did he hide the second disc? I'm gonna try that first. Inspector Gregson. Besides this murder, is it not true that you've been working on another very important case?
What? Why again, now, Sunshine?
Is it possible that this other top secret case is what's alluded to in this newspaper article here? I could probably, if he's talking about that, I could probably present that too. The classified secrets being leaked overseas from the Ministry of Justice.
How the bleeding door could you?
Discovered during the course of this trial, the music box deposited in the banks by Magnus McGilded. A special music box designed to play 2 discs at once. It would seem very likely now that encoded on the pair of discs that were in McGilded's possession are the leaked classified secrets. So I put it to you, Inspector, that in order to recover the second of the discs containing those secrets, you covertly made a deal with Mr. Graydon in which you exchanged the disc for the details of the case.
You little... Ah!
This song. Order, order, order. On the day of the incident, when we met you at Winterbanks, you said this. Scotland Yard already knew of that at that time, isn't it, right? That Magnus McGill was involved in stealing the government secrets?
My orders were recover the medium used to convey the secrets leaked from the ministry, and do it on the QT, strictly hush hush.
That explains why, when I present this disc as evidence to the court, you objected so heavily, I presume. Because you knew that it contained highly confidential information.
Blimey, not likely. I mean, I wasn't sure of it myself. I realized that there was a possibility, that's all.
Inspector, surely. Surely you're not saying that in order to acquire the second of these music box discs, you did indeed reveal the confidential details of the crime scene to the witness? Tainting anybody at the man and giving false testimony? There's no other way that Mr. Gray could have known the existence of the peephole. It's the only explanation. A deal was struck between these two men.
Ah!
Objection!
If, and I stress, if, This sobering assertion turns out to be founded in truth. It would mean that the second disc is, as we speak, here in this very courtroom.
Wait, what? In this room? How could you possibly make a claim like that? I like how the prosecution is suggesting that it's in a crucial piece of it is in the courtroom. That's a definite twist.
Because Inspector Gregson is a Scotland Yard detective.
What?
What's that supposed to mean, eh?
As a seasoned policeman, the Inspector will have approached this alleged deal with caution. Certainly, he would not have accepted a gentleman's agreement in this matter. No, he would insist on having the article agreed upon in the palm of his hand.
Good gracious. What do you mean to say? Inspector Gregson already has the item in question in his possession. He has the second disc actually on his person.
Yes.
Hey, we actually gonna say yes, and that makes sense. Defense demands the inspector and search at once.
Definitely. They can only have struck a deal with each other when Ginny was testifying before. And Gregsy hasn't moved from the witness stand since.
My lord, please. Order an examination of his personal effects immediately. Well, Inspector.
This young man wants to tone down his imagination. He insulted me in this profession quite enough. However, if I don't put this matter to bed and dispel any doubts about my involvement, then I'll happily submit to a body search.
What? He's gonna agree to it?
I presume you're aware of the precipice on which you now teeter, my little student friend. Made a most serious allegation against Scotland Yard here. If, upon the search of the inspector's personal effects, no disc is found, you will be deemed unfit for court service. This trial will end, and my country's government will formally demand of yours that you are severely reprimanded.
Sounds serious. That sounds bad. Indeed, to have a visiting student makes such defamatory remarks that our country's most senior police force. Not something Her Majesty's government will be able to overlook.
You're just threatening Runa because you're scared.
The accusation is beyond serious. Prepare for grave consequences.
It's true. Man, Gregson would have accepted a gentleman's agreement for something so critical. This must have physically changed hands, which means the inspector should have it. But somehow, this doesn't feel quite right here. Very well, counsel. The only implications. So let me ask you one final time. Hold on. Wait. 12, jeez, man. Yes, my lord. Do you still persist in formally requesting a search of the inspector's personal effects? Search him? Search someone else. If he's... I'm leaning towards searching. I'm leaning towards searching Graydon. Because, like, first of all, if we search, like, Gregson is, he's very confident in a body search, and he is a government official. So, I feel like searching him would be a bad idea if we don't find the disc. If the disc is on him, then if we search Graydon, he is not a government official. And if the disc is not on him, we can just search someone else. That's what I'm gonna search someone else and search Graydon. Yes, the defense formally demands the search can be conducted. Well,
Don't say you weren't warned, but your typical Nipponese stubbornness may well land you in hot water this time. Perhaps Lester will do you some good.
Fair enough. Got nothing to hide.
very well. Did I just mess up? Bailiff, conduct a search and inspect those personal
Objection.
defense demands a search, but not Inspector Gregson.
What?
Now what's all this? I'm the one you're accusing, aren't I? I thought you wanted to search me.
Oh no, Inspector, not you. Somebody else.
What's the meteorology, eh? Lost at last, have you, sunshine? Quite shouldn't have to put up with this nonsense. You're being completely irrational.
Be quiet, all of you.
Oh, it's you.
Uno's doing what you all told him to do, and having the courage of his convictions. So you should respect that and listen to what he has to say in good faith. Because that's the British way.
Well said, young lady. Indeed, this court is in awe of the defense counsel's conviction and eagerly awaits his next word.
You what? Now don't be hasty, my lord.
No, I'm mistaken about the things I've seen in court today. I'm fairly sure that I know that this now, at the moment, there's only one person it could be. Counsel, of whom do you request a search? The search now. Okay. I think it's gonna be you, but let's just look. Who else you have been in contact with? You have been in contact with these two doofuses, but yeah, I don't think you've done anything with them. I'm just gonna say it's Graydon. Mr. Ashley Graydon, my lord. Defense demands that he be searched at once. Very well. I presume you will not protest, Mr. Graydon.
Au contraire.
And so a brief body search was carried out by the court bailiff. A few short minutes later, it was revealed that Mr. Graydon had nothing unusual on his part. Ah! Yeah. Well, counsel, if I'm not mistaken about the things I've seen in court today. Fairly sure that I know who has a disc at the moment. So, ba 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 ba. Okay. Well, we're locked into this now. Sherlock Sholmes. Wait a minute. He did come in here. Did he steal the?
Take that!
I'm gonna try him. My lord, defense man, this person be searched at once. Grief, what possible relation could exist? I think I'm dead.
Objection!
I think this is wrong as well.
See, my Nipponese friend does not understand the gravity of requesting such a search. If the defense counsel's aim is humiliation, perhaps this will give him a taste of his own medicine.
Gregson doesn't have the disc at the moment. Question is, where can you have hidden it?
Question. Trouble is, he's been in a witness stand the entire time in full view of everyone in the courtroom. Not an easy situation in which to go about hiding anything, really. There's honestly only one place he could have possibly hidden it then.
There's another person's pocket. Someone with him on the stand.
Well, counsel. Okay. So if it's not you, and it's not Herlock Sholmes. Who are you standing next to? Nash? I think you've been standing next to Nash. Yeah, you've been standing next to Nash. I'm gonna try Nash. Oh, my lord. Mr. Nash Skulkin. Well, I never.
Me? Him?
Very well then. Bailiff, restrain the witness and conduct a thorough search of his personal effects.
Please, my lord.
Inspector?
Scotland Yard has to object to this search.
Objection!
Unfortunately for you, Inspector, your objections carry no weight here.
Eh?
In this courtroom, only the prosecution and the defense have the authority to object.
But Lord Van sakes.
I have no idea what forces are in play that might influence your actions. But personally, I have no intention of obstructing the course of this trial.
Ah,
I got you now. Bailiff, carry out the search.
No, I don't know nothing. Nothing about no disc. Oh! Ah! Oh my.
Here, my lord, in the witness's pocket. I found this. Good lord, that's...
Another music box disc. I don't know nothing about nothing.
That is the second music box disc left behind by Magnus McGilded. Is it not, Inspector Gregson?
ah.
Order, order, order. Mr. Skulkin, what do you have to say for yourself?
Go on, Bennett. I just go on, Flaming Button. I swear I don't know nothing about the disc. Honest to God.
Counsel, would you please explain what exactly is going on here? The alleged deal was struck was between this witness and this detective, no? Without question, my lord. And for pity's sake, why on earth was this man in possession of the disc that the inspector traded for the information? Inspector Gregson is a shrewd, calculating man who rarely loses his composure. But at one particular point in this trial, he exhibited some unusual behavior for a brief moment. Oh, no. I forgot about that. I don't recall what unusual behavior.
Ah.
It was, yes, during my cross-examination with Mr. Creighton. While Mr. Graydon answered my questions, the inspector appeared to have grabbed Nash Skulkin by the coat and was shaking him violently.
Yeah, I didn't know. Told me Noggin was gonna fall clean off. I did. I was wishing I would have been born by my brother. I was.
And what exactly happened to make the detective attack you like that?
I ain't got a clue. He just suddenly turned around me and whistled and acted like that and started shaking me. Why, blazing, didn't you mention the third gun when we got down the street? That's what he said. He went right down my ear, he did. My hair's still throbbing now.
The way the detective behaved the way the detective behaved then was extremely out of character. But looking back now, it must have been that he did it. That was the opportunity Inspector Gregson created for himself in order to hide the disc. Bless my wig, he hid it.
You.
I'm afraid I failed to comprehend the motive here. The detective had acquired the disc he was after. Why on earth would he proceed to hide it in another man's pocket? It's a court of law. He could have submitted the item as evidence.
It would appear, my lord, the inspector was not at liberty to do that.
Why ever not?
As the man himself revealed earlier, his current assignment has some special conditions.
Yeah, I see. Hush, hush. Top secret assignment, is it?
As far as we're aware, the information stolen comes from confidential government communications. It would seem that if the information were to be revealed in court as evidence, it would be problematic. Does that sum up the situation, Inspector?
I'm operating on direct orders from the ministry. I'm afraid I'm not at liberty to answer that question.
So, realizing that there was a chance you may be searched here in court, took your steps to hide the disc you acquired from the witness.
Ah, does that mean he only pretended to attack Mr. Skulkin in order to get close enough to him? He slipped a second disc into his pocket. So it was all a pretense. Well now, Inspector Gregson, and you, Mr. Graydon, are you prepared to admit to the accusation made against you in this alleged deal? Admit to it? Yours truly? Please. Mr. Graydon, you guys need to stop now, please. Clearly our Eastern visitor has an uncommonly active imagination. However, there's no proof that I passed the disc to the inspector.
Objection!
But then, how do you explain the reason why you knew about the people? I'm under no obligation to explain. What? Yes, I led him my testimony. That I admit, so sentence me accordingly. But that's all I admit. Murder, leaking government secrets, striking a deal with a detective. All this is young Eastern man's fancy. I have no idea what any of this is about. You. What? Please, we're so close. I feel. Well, what about you then, Inspector Gregson? Do you admit making a deal with Mr. Graydon in order to acquire the disc?
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, as a Scotland Yard inspector, I would declare this and nothing more. I'm acting in the best interest of the country. Whatever I've done, it's been in the name of justice. So, as members of the public of this fine country, I'd like to think that justice will be your guiding light when you're making your decisions.
This is quite a quandary indeed. Rarely have I encountered such extraordinary tumultuousness in the concluding of a trial. Nevertheless, in the absence of any further evidence to be presented, I believe it is time that we put matter to the jury for their final leanings.
Well now, as a fellow servant of the Queen and country, I must say I sympathize with you, Inspector.
Yes, he's a dependent man, and I'm quite sure as the risk one becomes a good judge of character.
You're crossing your eyes and I hope when it comes to looking at this case, it's all blur to me. Well, as a fellow professional, I'd like to put my faith in the detective, really.
Great, highly skilled operator. Stop. Currently presence of items. Stop. Stop that. Detective has rarely much trust in eyes. More than this, I cannot say. I don't believe it. These 6 jurors are. They're going to believe Gregson. They declare their decision now.
You ain't gonna be found guilty.
If I don't manage to produce some definitive evidence right now, then we're going to lose. Use some proof that Graydon killed Mr. Winterbank or stole those government secrets, or some evidence to force Gregson into admitting that he struck a deal with the witness. Well then, counsel, I'm saving, please. I think it's time I impose the jurors to declare their final decisions, no? That is, unless you have some compelling evidence you thus far not presented to the court. Or let the judge call the jurors to announce their leanings. Gina will be found guilty.
There's no choice then, Riddle. You have to throw some more evidence at them.
This is it now. It all comes down to this. Who do I present evidence against? Gregson or Graydon? So, to Graydon. For Graydon, I have to prove that some deal was made. For Gregson, I have to try to admit that. Hold on. Where is it? Some evidence forced Gregson into admitting that he was struck a deal with the witness. What proof do we have? I don't think we have proof that Mr. Grayson killed Windibank. I don't think that proof exists. But proof that regarding the government's secrets. Well, he has a second disc now. We can just like pop this in. We don't have any evidence, obviously, but we can pop it into the player, see what it comes out as. Evidence to force Gregson to. Why do I keep forgetting? Force Gregson into admitting that he struck a deal. How would we force Gregson to admit that he struck a deal? Well, actually, you know what? I think since we have the second disc, but like all the second disc proves is that the Morse code is the thing with Morse code exists. That's all that proves. I don't think it proves anything involving like that we didn't already know. Of course, we could examine it, but I'm not sure if it's gonna give us anything we don't know. And what else do we have here? That's not gonna. We haven't used this. This is Mr. Mason's blood. But of course, we only found that out because from spraying it, so that's not gonna work. Hold on. Representation papers. Didn't Gregson give us this? Why do we still have this? I'm not seeing like any misdeeds with this. But this is worth a shot. This is worth a shot. Not sure it's worth a good shot, but he was acting rather secretive back there as well. What is... I've saved already. I'm going to try. Yeah. I think I'm going to try presenting something to Gregson. Inspector Gregson, there's one final piece of evidence I would like you to see.
What's that then?
If you refuse to acknowledge that you did in fact strike a deal with the witness here today, then you leaves no choice but to examine this piece of evidence thoroughly.
Well, go on.
It's my last chance. It looks like I'm going to have to force his hand here. One final piece of evidence to get this detective to admit to the deal he clearly struck with Graydon. Yeah, well, the way he worded it like that, I don't think it's this at all. Well, in that case, I would try this.
Take that!
Music stopped. Is that Mr. McYoda's peculiar music box council? Yes, with a disc already in place, ready to play. I think perhaps now would be a good time to listen to the sound produced by the music box again. Only this time, with the second disc we just discovered set in place as well. Goodness, this disc council.
Hold it!
No, wait. I can't let you do that.
Okay, good. He's trying to restrain us. Why not?
Because I'm... Well... Because it's got nothing to do with this case, that's why.
That's all. That's a blatant lie. Not true, Inspector.
Eh.
Defense has already proposed that the sounds heard by the court earlier from this music box were part of a Morse code message. We know that Morse code comprises of two distinct tones. The defense believes that the second disc contains the second tone needed to complete the message. Now we have a chance to confirm that theory.
We're crying out loud, such and we're talking about state secrets here. If you go into the whole courtroom here, confidential information like this, it's treason.
Do you admit to the charge? Then in order to protect the state secrets, you engage in unlawful dealings with a witness?
Yeah, you're mad. If you let that secret information out in the public domain, you'll be making an enemy of the entire British government, you idiot.
Objection!
Let's not forget, Inspector, that you, a Scotland Yard officer, leak confidential case details to a witness. That you continue to lie to the court. And all because, by fair means or foul, you're determined to do your duty. Well, by fair means or foul, I'm prepared to do mine.
Don't you dare.
I will stop at nothing to protect my client. I don't care who I make an enemy of. My lord, if you please, the court must hear the sounds made by that music box.
Come on, Fancy, for Pete's sake, stop him.
Objection!
Foot! Inspector, you should know that I'm methods by now. I'm a prosecutor. I'm no Scotland Yard puppet.
Ugh.
In this courtroom are your duties to law. Let me propose a toast to uncover the truth, by fair means or foul. There you go, your fries. Very well. The defense stance here is that of the prosecution, and that of the prosecution have been made very clear, I feel. Therefore, in accordance with the defense's request, the court will now listen as this music box is set to operation. It's in operation once more. It's time with the second disc in place and both discs playing simultaneously. That's definitely Morse code. It's unmistakable now. It's Morse code.
Whatever you want, but for the love of God, shut that blowing box up.
Let me ask you again then, Inspector Gregson. Did you, or did you not, strike a deal with the witness next to you in the stand, Mr. Ashley Grayson? Specifically, did you furnish the witness with confidential case details in exchange with his music box disc? Did you reveal the existence of the people in the pawnbroker storeroom door, Inspector?
I did.
Stop. What are you doing, man?
It's all exactly like the young Eastern lawyer said. When the trial resumed after the recess, and we were sturdier in the stand together, that's when he approached me with the deal.
Shut up, you imbecile. Shut up.
Psst, you there.
You're the detective who turned up at the pawnbroker the other day, aren't you? May I have something you're looking for, Inspector? With me at this very moment. So how am I betrayed? I suggest you accept. Or information that makes certain individuals uncomfortable will soon become public, very public indeed.
I currently let that information become public knowledge, not under any circumstances. So I accepted the man's proposal and told him details about the case that should put him in the clear. The people on the storm door and the bloodstains on the overcoat.
By giving false testimony, this witness intended to have the defendant wrongly accused of murder. Inspector, you knew that. Yet you still revealed those details to facilitate the witness's perjury.
I did. But then it turned out that the people had only been made that night after the incident took place. Scotland Yard wasn't aware of that, if I'm perfectly honest.
Well, Mr. Graydon, what do you have to say for yourself? There's nothing, and no one left for you to hide behind. You struck a deal with the inspector in order to escape conviction of a very serious crime, namely this. You are the third intruder who broke into the pawnbroker on the night in question. And you perpetrated the murder of the proprietor, Mr. Pop Winterbank. You. Oh, it broke his stick. Traitor! What the? Oh, what the? Bailiff! Restrain that man! At once! That's it then. It's all over. I despise my life growing up. The slums are vile places. I was cursed from birth, born into poverty, the son of a penniless artisan. My parents did nothing but quarrel all day long. What little money they had was never spent on me. So I set about studying to better myself, to one day escape from the hellhole. You eventually became a communications officer. I admire your determination. But then you decided to try sell government secrets? Why? Isn't it obvious? Because I wanted money. Even now, years later, nightmares of my life in the slums wake me in the small hours. I want to drown them out, with more money than anyone who lived in the squalor can ever imagine. Then one day, I met him. Mr. Magnus McGilded.
You're a fiend with a quiet talent, you are. So I can get money to throw your way if you're interested. All you need to do is go along with me about my little plan now.
I was to steal the ministry's telegraphic message logs, and McGilded would buy them for a handsome sum. As I was responsible for the inspectors of the ministry communications office, it was a simple enough task. The lure of the devil's offerings. How easy is it to succumb? But you must surely have realized the seriousness of the crime you're committing.
For that reason, I took great lengths to ensure my actions were untraceable.
By using the music box.
My father was a brickmaker, though my mother divorced him when I was still a child.
Yes, Mr. Mason Milverton.
That's right, he was very skilled with his hands. He'd once been a music box maker's apprentice. I imagined his skills would be sufficient to create a machine that could generate Morse code. So I sought out my father again to employ his services. It was for the first time I'd seen him since I left the slums 10 years ago.
Look at you, Ashley. What a fine gent you become, eh?
He was a different man than the one in my memory. A thin, frail man. But poverty had never broken him, never corrupted him like it had me. I was sure that he would help me if I told him the real reason. So I made up a story. I got some work for you, father. I need the music box just made.
You're a buck, they say.
A musician friend of mine has written some music he wants to sell to the public. Brought the score with me. There are two, actually.
I've been alive, son. For 20 years since I did any work like this, though. Fetch my tools, would you? Down the loft.
That's how I had him make the 2 discs.
And by splitting the information into 2, you were taking suitable precautions indeed.
It was to protect myself as much as anything. It meant that I could deal with McGilded in 2 separate transactions. First involved the 2 discs in the music box for playing them. I exchanged them with Miss Gilded for 10 guineas. Then, on receipt of the second disc, he would pay 1,000 guineas.
So what happened on the omnibus 2 months ago was the second part of the deal, the exchange of the second disc.
Yes. I sold the man information by way a number of times already. But seems he became reluctant to part with his money.
That does not quite make sense, Mr. Graydon. But why was it that on the omnibus 2 months ago, your father, Mr. Milverton, was the one dealing with Bigoted and not yourself?
When I received 1,000 guineas after my first completed deal with Bigoted, I decided to give 200 to my father for his troubles. But my father realized something was amiss. In time, it worked out that I must be involved in something dubious. And when he did, he said to me,
Your son is an exchange. You let your old man do it, understand? Otherwise, I won't take it with money anymore.
that was my father's way of dealing with it, I suppose. Climb into the omnibus, hand over the second disc, and take the money from McGilded. That's it. He had no idea what was actually on the disc I had asked him to make. He never knew. Just like I'll never know why everything went so horribly wrong that night. All I know is that the disc was taken from him, and he never returned home. It was only then that I found out what sort of monster McGilda really was. So the 10 years of not once uttering it, I swore my father's name. To exact revenge.
Revenge?
As anyone with even the remotest knowledge of the man would doubt be able to imagine. Magoda brought all his wealth and influence to bear in the most despicable ways. To crush any semblance of justice in his trial. The crimes he was tampered with, evidence was fixed, and witnesses were bribed. The trial 2 months ago was a farce from the start to finish.
My feet had barely touched British soil back then. I was walking into that hornet's nest completely unaware of the sinister background to it all.
I I made plenty of money out of my dealings with Miguel back then, so I spared nothing in my arrangements 2 months ago. I knew exactly who to hire. If you're willing to pay the price, there are people in this city willing to do anything you ask. Miguel himself has shown me that. Are you saying that? I think you have the picture now. After he twisted everything in his favor to this courtroom and ensured he walked free. I took matters in my own hands and delivered monster that justice monster bleh, I delivered the justice that monster deserved. My battery's low. Great. I'm gonna keep going, I don't care. That tragic accident following the trial here 2 months ago was planned and executed by yours truly. Oh, you killed him. Miguel's death that day was caused by this man. Oh. You disguise yourself as a freaking bailiff. This is that policeman who came to tell Miguel that he could examine the omnibus again. Yeah, that's right. An imposter hired by me. Oh, it's not you. It was just somebody who was sus. He was totally dumb. Miguel uses his wealth to manipulate the trial. He paid people to adulterate the omnibus with all manner of false evidence. He threatened witnesses to lie in their testimony. So I gave the man a taste of his own medicine. Once the omnibus was doused in paraffin, one of my sham policemen ushered McGilded inside, sent on a one-way journey to hell. An eye for an eye. That's how I avenged my father's death. Spine-chilling account indeed. But that wasn't the end of it for me. There was a loose end, you see. A loose end. Yes, I should think it's obvious. The second disc, which my father had taken in exchange with McGilded. Ah, yes. There was indeed no mention of it in the man's trial 2 months ago. Clearly it had been because it had been removed from the scene of the crime. When I realized it was missing, I remembered something. Something from the first time I dealt with McGilded. This is the first of the 2 discs. The music blocks, you need to play them.
Well, look at this now. We're an ingenious little invention. Sorry, as promised. Didn't get any for you, mind.
What's this? Winnipegg's pawnbrokery.
Aye, this is a proper ticket sorted. You can use it to redeem an card deposit it for you. You don't need to give it a name. Just hand over the ticket and tell him Fiend to watch for it. Put it in the ball bucket for you. Yep, bet you get 10 guineas if you show it, so you will.
I never heard of a pawnbrokery used in quite that way before.
Have you not, Mr. Graded? And his pawnbrokers are very useful places, you know. Each one is like an extremely secure route.
So I knew that if he'd taken steps to hide the disc, it would have been in that pawnbrokery somewhere. And the night he killed my father, he must have entrusted the ticket to someone. Yes, to Gina. I remember now that when we first met you at Winnipegg's that afternoon 2 days ago, you had a description of Miss Lestrade written down. How'd you know who you were looking for? From the trial, the pickpocket's testimony was clearly particular. Anyone could see that. I realized immediately that she was another McGill's pawns. They must have threatened her somehow. I was fairly convinced it would be her who had the ticket. So we started making some inquiries. It must have been in the gallery that day. I had a strong suspicion the girl would come out of the woodwork on the redemption deadline. He was absolutely right. And yes, sure enough, she did. All I needed to do was wait until the girl went to Winterbanks to redeem the articles. But unfortunately, she redeemed only McGilda's overcoat and the one disc that was in its pocket. The all-important music box with the second disc inside was missing.
Because it had already been forfeited 2 days earlier.
But I was unaware of that fact. Had it not been, I could have avoided my nighttime excursion.
Meanwhile, its investigation into stolen government secrets was progressing. We picked up on the fact that McGilder was involved.
Spectre recovered fast.
My orders were to recover the stolen information as quickly as possible. So we started gathering the fella's possessions and examining whatever we could lay our hands on. We had a full-scale investigation going on at the yard. We were to keep it as quiet as we could.
And when the inspector here took the disc from me and the pawnbroker that day, I became nervous. I'm sure the music box and the disc were still there in the shop somewhere. So I knew it was a race against time. I had to find those articles before the police did. So that's what prompted you to break into the place that same night. With the help of your old friends, the Skulkin brothers. What happened that night in the pawnbrokery? I can only describe it as a nightmare. When Ash and Ringo were searching the counter, I located the music box they sold to McGilder on the shelves of the forfeited articles.
And the second disc was inside.
Yes, I slipped it in my pocket with a very deep sigh of relief. But then, something entirely unexpected happened. What are you doing in my shop?
Oh, sorry. Wait, not my shop!
A gunshot rang out of the shop and I felt a sharp pain in my left arm.
The broker fired his gun, and the bullet pierced your limb.
Yes, exactly. But unfortunately, I decided to bring my own gun with me that night, just in case. Before I knew what was happening, I'd fired back. The man had already turned to flee. I had intended to fire in his direction, much less kill him. But unfortunately for both of us, the bullet hit home. Struck him in the middle of the back as he fled to the storeroom door for refuge. Sorry tale. It all took place in the blink of an eye. I don't imagine Nash and Ringo even realized what had happened at first. I was terrified, so I fled. And that's the whole story. It's everything that happened at Winnebags on the wretched night.
Earlier, you called McGilder a monster. A man who uses wealth and influence to distort the facts and escape justice for the crime of murder. What tragic irony. For what you have done is exactly the same. You become the very monster you saw and despise it so deeply in McGilder.
Yes, I think I have. Well, this has been a long and exhausting trial. Yeah, you think? It's almost 1 o'clock. However, it would seem that at last we had arrived at the truth. Inspector Gregson, what of Mr. Ashley Graydon?
He's been restrained, my lord, and is being escorted to the yard. He'll be charged with the murder of Winterby and the stealing of government secrets.
Very good. And you, Inspector? Regrettably, you will have to face charges yourself.
Yes, my lord. Of course.
It transpires that you were complicit in helping a criminal escape justice. The fact remains whether or not you were doing so in the line of duty. The crime is a serious one, Inspector.
and inexcusable. Now, the defendant, Mr. Gina Lestrade.
Ah, yeah?
It is time for your final adjudication. Is the jury ready, Mr. Foreman?
Yes, sir. You're in a squadron. Standing by, sir. This is really it now. Last push, the final call. Finishing whistle. My men are ready to deliver their verdicts.
Thank you, Mr. Foreman. Very well, ladies and gentlemen of the jury. You will now declare your final decisions of the court.
Not guilty.
Not guilty.
Not guilty.
Not guilty.
Not guilty.
Not guilty.
That's the stuff. I'm off the hook.
Finally, Bruno, you finally managed to do it.
Finally is the word. I really sure if we come out on top for a while there.
Susie was right. You're the best liar in the world.
Miss Lestrade, I'm not finished with you yet.
What are you looking at me like that for?
Before you start enjoying your freedom, there are certainly other crimes to consider. 2 months ago, in my courtroom no less, you gave false testimony, did you not? In relation to the trial today, not only did you unlawfully enter Winterbake's pawnbrokery, you also attempted to abscond with Mr. McGillicud's property, it seems.
I've never done nothing of the sort.
Of course not. It's not like you were gleefully wearing McGillicud's coat in your cell yesterday or anything.
Aw, I just wanted to get excited about throwing a party for Ginny this evening.
And turning our attention to the defense. Determining that, when played together, the music box to contain a message in Morse code was, well, it was certainly a most unexpected revelation, counsel. Quite so, my lord. The prosecution was caught entirely off guard. In fact, I think we should applaud my learned friend's courage here today and propose a toast. Demanded the government secrets to be... demanded that government secrets to be disseminated before the entire courtroom. Ah, oops. I'm very sorry about that. It was the only way I could get Inspector Gregson to admit to what he'd done, so... I may say something on that point. Isn't that... It's, but the sounds produced by the music box before. I do wonder if that was really Morse code at all. What? What are you saying, madam?
Oh, well, it's just that I'm really rather fanatical when it comes to Morse code, you see. So much so that the whole world seems to be covered in dots and dashes to me, in fact.
Goodness, madam. An unhealthy level of obsession one feels.
But I must say that, in my opinion, the sounds produced by those two discs are nothing more than that. Merely a series of two different tones.
What? Can that really be? If what it wasn't Morse code after all, did we produce false evidence? Oh no. My lord, the defense would like to listen to the music box again.
Are you off your nut? How many times did I tell you? Or just contain musical secrets, sunshine?
This courtroom is not an appropriate forum to discuss the nature of the government communications. We know McGillicud conspired to trade national secrets with our enemies, secrets acquired from Mr. Graydon. Now that the man has admitted to his crimes, we have no need to pursue this matter further. That's really going to bother me. Miss Lestrade.
Yeah, my lord.
That what you have seen today here in this courtroom has been extremely disturbing. Falsified evidence, intimidation, perjury, a grim catalog of depravity. An appalling experience to befall any child.
Come on, ain't nothing I didn't see more today than the back sums.
Beg your pardon?
If you're away, you pay for it. That's just how life goes.
Gina.
Look, I reckon I work something out today. Or it ain't fair. Buffy wanted to change. You gotta start at home. You gotta change how you are yourself.
Well, that's a very laudable lesson, I would say. I eagerly look forward to the born-again Miss Lestrade, never gracing my courtroom with her presence again. Now, with regard to the murder of Mr. Pop Winterbank, proprietor of pawnbrokery business on Baker Street, I hereby declare the defendant, Miss Gina Lestrade, not guilty. Oh, you're the one that firing fireworks. That's all. Court is adjourned. Why are we not in the courtroom yet? On a personal note, I must say you surprised me, my far recent friend. Ah. Oh. Despite being a Nipponese, you saw through the pretense to the malice that festered within the Englishman. At the same time, saw through the grime to the surprising heart of your English client. You have a curious talent for judging character, especially considering our very different cultures. I don't think there's anything curious about it. Whether from the Empire of Great Britain or the Empire of Japan. We're all human beings. Not so very different on the inside. You know, I took this case for one very simple reason. To lock swords with you once again, here in the courtroom. You did? When I encountered you for the first time 2 months ago, you reminded me of toasting friendships and trust with another Nipponese, when I find my trust betrayed. Though you, I hope to look into the eyes of the man I once knew, and try to understand. Betrayed? You mentioned something similar earlier today, about total betrayal in the hands of a Japanese. What happened exactly? We may ask. And one day, when the time comes, you will learn the answer, whether you like it or not. Well, I guess we're gonna find out in Ace Attorney Resolve. Something to look forward to. Alright, then I'll wait for that day if I must. Coming to be known as the Reaper of the Bailey in my retirement from service 5 years ago. It gives me cause to wonder if our meeting has some deeper purpose. So, farewell, my little Nipponese fellow. Until we meet again. It's done. It's over at last. But where's Iris disappeared too? Ah, congratulations, Gina. I knew it all along. I know you were innocent.
Well, is that what you said, Mr. Naruto? You believed in me, right to the end. Here's all your name.
What's odd about it? I told you I had faith in you, didn't I?
No one ever asked before, you see. Kept the promise, I mean, properly.
That's awful.
I figured something out today. All my life, growing up in the slums, I never trust no one. But that's just 'cause I've been scared I've been stabbed in the back. I mean, the more you trust someone, the more it hurts when they let you down.
Yes, I think I can understand that. After all, I had a taste of it in that trial 2 months ago. I chose to trust someone and paid for it. Your trial left a big scar. You know though, Gina, we worked something out quite recently too. Trusting in someone else is Really, an exercise in learning to trust yourself. Your gut tells you it's the right thing to do, and your trust is rewarded. There's no better feeling in the world. I think I have to thank you. I think I have you to thank for reminding me of that very valuable lesson. Blah, 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 blah. I'm getting tired.
Well, if you say so, I'll make up for a fat lower sum to me, though.
Try to say, putting my faith in you, Gina. It's been a real pleasure.
For crying out loud, pack it in. But I suppose I sort of feel the same way. I mean, sometimes trusting someone else's, I know. Alright.
Thanks. So the way I see it, Runesuke. The defense lawyer is only as good as his faith in his client. And that comes down to how much faith he has in himself. After this experience, I'm starting to feel like I understand what you mean, Kazuma. Am I living up to your expectations? Am I turning out to be the lawyer you believed I could be? Pardon the interruption. Oh.
What the deuce does the man have to be noticed to me around here,
My dear fellow. The other guy turned to look at him.
That voice. It's too late for that voice now, Mr. Naruto. I've been standing here patiently in the corner of the room for an eternity. Yes, it was me all along. What is it when you finally noticed me? But you people, with the incense babbling.
Mr. Sholmes.
Yes, it was me all along, you see.
I assume you've been taken back to the hospital, to be honest.
Yeah, I was.
But I managed to escape again. Oh.
I've been to be aware of one or two foibles of the doctor who was tending to me. I merely made my knowledge of them known to man. He had issued me with leave of absence.
Very above board.
But enough of my adventures. That was a fine victory, Mr. Naruto. Your tiredness is just reward, I feel. Congratulations, Naruto. Our close friend. I tip my hat at you.
Oh, thank you.
What a great detective you are. Great at being cold as ice, maybe.
You're as cold as ice.
Have I exchanged some way, Mr. Shot?
Why you been having us snooze in your nice soft bed? Some of us have been fighting for our lives.
However, that bullet did cause me to lose a substantial amount of blood, it's true. So I've been feeling somewhat cold. Not perhaps as cold as ice, but, well, I have a feel.
Could you take your hand off my neck, please, Mr. Sholmes?
And, in some way, I suppose, congratulations, Lord, for you too, Mr. Strahd.
What's that supposed to mean? Why is it so hard?
Well, naturally, it's my intention to alarm you, but an acquittal in a trial with the particular prosecutor is perhaps a little precarious.
Well done, Mr. Sholmes. Not alarming in the slightest.
The Reaper, you mean? Because then when found out getting a trial he was working, winds up dead, is that it?
Very point I was trying to make. That's a simple matter of fact, Miss McGill, in fact.
But we know who killed Miss McGilded.
But of course, I pay no attention to such irrational drivel myself.
Yeah, well, don't ball me.
Oh, really?
Of course not. Wait, I see. Reaper's a bit like him upstairs.
Him upstairs, you mean? Like God? The God you believe in, what?
Yeah, him upstairs knows what's what, right? He knows what people are like on the inside. You know what, I got the wrong end of the stick. There's some codes like the bog trotter. What a run to the core. At the end of the day, him upstairs make sure they get what they deserve.
I suppose that's one way of looking at it. If you like religion. Find justice is one thing, though. Reaper is taking matters in his own hands and claiming lies is another.
Well, I like my Kyotos of this world. So I ain't scared. I got principles, see?
training is like. It's what should be admired, Mr. Strahd. Oh, give it a rest, alright? As I was saying, congratulations in order. News of your acquittal is very welcome news to me indeed. Let me express my heartfelt congratulations, Gina. Well,
There you are, Hurley. How long have you been here? Honestly, I went to the main entrance expecting to meet you there.
Iris, my dear, I do apologize. But wait until wait until I tell you what happened. The pair made utter fools of themselves.
What happened?
As you know, I'm a pitch for disguise. I was hiding in this room just as a bailiff. But the dolts didn't notice my presence at all. They had no idea. Can you imagine, Iris? Would you credit it?
I'm not sure, really.
I beg your pardon.
I'm sorry, Hurley, but you just don't have the weighty presence you seem to think you have. In fact, you really have to be careful about that. It's gonna land you in some trouble one day.
I'll be careful. Ouch.
Anyway, such a shame. I was hoping to throw a party for Jeannie tonight, but you won't be able to come, will you?
Don't look at me like I'm gonna be nowhere for a while. Here's the judge powder. I got stuff to make amends for, apparently. All of my offenses. Why did I get breaking and entering, taking a derogatory stuff from one log, blah blah blah.
Yeah, I think you'll find that basically being a pickpocket is the main offense.
But that ain't an offense. That's a job, isn't it?
I don't think so.
Still, it's got me thinking all this. Maybe I should start looking for another line of work. I mean, you started off as a lawyer, didn't you, Oda?
Well, no. I was never a pickpocket.
Well, anyway, I reckon I can make a change. I'm gonna sell for the like lot for me, like me from the slums. Some of them make a difference for him.
That's a wonderful idea, Jeannie. I'm sure you can do it. What is it?
Nothing.
Miss Gina Lestrade. The prison carriage has arrived, ma'am. Come with me to the real gate at once.
Right. Well, looks like I'm off then.
Yes, goodbye, Gina. And good luck.
Oda?
Yes. Ah! What was that for?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know what to say. So,
Indeed. Perhaps the situation calls for a phrase hitherto missing from your vocabulary, Miss Lestrade.
eh?
On occasion such as this, I would recommend listening to Thank you.
Oh,
Oh, yes. That's good advice, Jeannie.
right. I see. Well, thanks, Oda.
Aw. Aw, smile.
Thank you for everything while you're done, for believing me.
Not at all. In fact, that should be my line. Thank you, Gina. Oh, daw. Well, there she goes. Whenever I'll see her again.
Well, quite the indomitable pick purse.
Oh, I nearly forgot. I brought paper outside.
Oh, another paper?
It's a special edition. There's trash all over the front page. Pickpocket's innocence proven. Isn't it wonderful?
You should have shown it to Gina, Iris. She would have been thrilled.
Oh no, how silly me. But anyway, Would you like the good news or the bad news?
Oh no, not again.
Well, what do you say, weirdo? Hurley?
As usual, I think I'd rather get the bad news out of the way first. Absolutely not. I have no intention of listening to anything but good news.
And there you have it. How people answer that question says a lot about them, doesn't it?
Let's not go there.
Alright then, be nice with the good news this time. Rain has finally stopped. There's a record level rainfall apparently.
Just like real life. I don't think it's a record level though. Well, that's good news indeed. We can journey back to in greater comfort. Alright then, what's the bad news?
A huge storm has left the seas very choppy. The channel in particular is awful, so sailing out of the Dover has been delayed by a day or more.
Wait, Dover?
That's right. Bring it back to the station immediately. We still make it in time to wave Susie off.
But, there won't be a train, surely. I couldn't be that lucky. Who do you think I am, Mr. Mihiro? Mr. Sholmes? I wish to Victoria Station early. I made arrangements for a special express. If we hurry now, we should be there in time for dinner. I know of a fine restaurant that serves the most delicious baked sole. I don't. The great detective does it again. Indeed he does. I happen to be aware of a number of rail transport directors' foibles. What? I merely made my knowledge of them notice a man and happily laid on the locomotive elementary. Just an idea, but it might be wise to stop manipulating people that way.
What are we waiting for then? To London, Victoria!
It took somewhat longer than I anticipated. It's dark out.
Susie, boss might be about to leave now.
Mrs. Sato, where are you? There she is. Over there, look! Looks like she's reading something.
Hold it!
Mrs. Sato, wait! What are you doing? Yeet! Mr. Naruto, what are you doing here? We came as soon as we could after the trial. I mean, where the sailings were being delayed due to bad weather, you see. Oh, I see. Then tell me, how did Jeannie's trial go? It went well. She was acquitted. That's wonderful. Really wonderful news. The book you were about to throw into the sea. It was your Encyclopedia of British Law, wasn't it? Oh dear, I was hoping you had see that. I'm not worthy of practicing law in any way now, so I was saying my final farewell. You're saying goodbye to law? You, Susato-san. What a bit of character in Sumi. It's because of the peephole, Susato. I deliberately altered the scene of the crime, and then I tried to hide the fact. What I did is utterly unforgivable.
That reminds me. How did you even come to have this, Susie?
On the evening of the incident, Mrs. Sholmes had invited Gina to dinner, if you remember.
Oh yes, we had a wonderful time.
Well, Gina gave us a little introductory lesson, didn't she? To the art of pickpocketing. Oh,
that was so much fun. I stole Rudolph's armband.
Look at this badge. Yes, please don't do that again, Iris. That band's important to me.
Well, if it's so important, you should pay more attention to it. You didn't notice for ages.
I know, ma'am. I thought it'd be fun to see if I could take the cat flap-a-mat, slip it on my sleeve.
Really?
Then I rather forgot about it, so I found myself in Mr. Winnimake's shop until later that night.
I see.
And then... Mr. Sholmes! Mr. Sholmes! Leave me in this note.
Oh wait, this is a flashback. I don't need to read this.
That's Mr. Naru. I left the shop. I started to think. The door started playing on my mind.
Storm door, you mean?
Yes, if Gina was anywhere in the shop, I realized I could only be behind the door. At the moment, the little device I had up in my sleeve sprang to mind. I was so worried about Gina, I simply had to know.
So you use the cat flap man to make the people in the door?
Has captured the photographic print of the shop.
But what of Hurley's red-handed recorders?
Indeed. It was the first importance to the point. Precisely when the people was made, that information would prove to be Mr. Naruho's greatest weapon. Though naturally, without proof, it would have amounted to nothing.
But when I looked through the hole in the door, the sight that my eyes made my blood run cold. But I started to run through my mind. I remember the trial 2 months earlier.
Trial Magnus McGilded.
I thought about how he manipulated the evidence and arranged false testimony to secure his freedom. It made the British justice system feel very dark and sinister to me. And then, a terrible thought occurred to me. What if some wicked criminal was planning to do the same thing now? Because when we appeared at the crime scene, it looks exactly as though Gina had shot Mr. Winterbank. Even though I was sure she would never have done such a thing.
You worry that the true culprit would try to frame her for the crime.
That's right. But then I realized it'd be very difficult for anyone to give false testimony in this case.
What do you mean?
Well, the crime appeared to have happened behind the door of a locked room. If someone had claimed falsely to have witnessed it, there would have been a way to see beyond the door.
Ah.
For which, the people would be the very thing. Only the people I had made wasn't actually there until after the crime had been committed, of course. And the criminal would know that, so it wouldn't make any difference. But the possibility was of a rather ingenious trap was there, was it not?
Trap? Is that why she did it? I'm gonna try to hurry this up because it's almost 1:30. I need to get this over with.
So is that why you kept it a secret, Susie?
You never mentioned that you made the people to anyone, not even to the police.
I knew at the time what I was doing was wrong, a criminal offense even. That's why I decided to confine Mrs. Sholmes. Mr. Naru was completely backed in the corner with no other possible means of escape. The truth about the people, she could save him. That was my plan.
She really does think of everything. But then, why didn't you just tell me everything before the trial began? My dear fellow, you're not thinking straight. If she had done that, it would have been rendered you complicit in the whole escapade. You could have been disbarred if you had been seen to have knowingly tampered with a crime scene. So Mrs. Sato decided to shoulder the burden of responsibility alone. For your sake, Mrs. Strauds.
Mrs. Sato. The truth is, when it happened, I did it because I lost a little of my faith in the law.
Oh.
I was worried that the right person would be convicted of the crime. But the moment I allowed to think about that, it's the moment I lost my right to call myself a judicial assistant.
What you did isn't comparable to what he did. Grant is the one who lied about lying on the witness stand, using the people as a way to implicate Gina. And besides, if the people inconsistency hadn't existed, I'm not all sure that she would have been acquitted in the end. Mrs. Sato, what you did saved Gina's life.
Well, with your kind words, Mr. Naruto, you saved me too, from my regrets.
Well, we must all wait and think about Miss Lestrade's freedom that's been assured. Yes, exactly. Although some of the loose ends in that trial will continue to play on my mind, I'm sure.
But the revelation of the music box contains two missions, Mr. Naruto. What a triumph to work that out. I'm full of admiration.
Well, actually, that argument wasn't quite as compelling as I thought it was.
Oh, it wasn't?
There's a communications officer among the jury members, you see, a telegraph operator. She said that the majority of the sounds on the disc were just meaningless tones.
That's one exact. After all, we are talking about secret government and communications. I thought they were written in cipher to avoid being readily understood should they have been intercepted.
Oh, cipher. I see. I don't know what cipher it is at all. Then we can never have hope to understand the message anyway.
Nonsense, my dear fellow. It's quite a zero-pi problem, I assure you.
Don't you dare. A. So, G. S O G?
What?
Oh.
Well, that can't be a real word, can it? How funny.
Wait, Iris, what did you just say?
Oh, I just said SOG. That word means something to you?
Means something. Asuji was the name of my best friend.
What?
But how? How do you know that name, Iris?
I wrote down the trial before, when the message was playing on the music box.
She came out on the fly. She really is a genius.
I thought the message probably would be written out in plain Morse code, so I tried various ways to interpret it. Whatever I tried, the words just didn't seem to make any sense. That is, in English at least. Oh. It suddenly occurred to me, you see, there's more than one Morse code. More than one Morse code. Not just the English variety. Various countries even have altered and add Morse code to use in their own languages.
I don't believe it. What are you saying?
That's right. Well, I actually seen a chart of Japanese Morse code once before. But I think it's based on that.
It's hard to see that because of her behind it, but the Iroha. I think that's what it is.
Iroha Pangram, is it?
You need to say that in Japanese Morse code. The message says Asuji.
Yes, I think so. Sorry, but I don't remember all the Japanese Morse code.
Iris, would you let me see that?
Mr. Sato, do you know it? Do you know Japanese Morse code?
Yes, I spent some time studying it.
Because I'm quite sure Morse code would be ever more important for international communications.
Then I recommend, dear madam, that you focus your efforts on the English version. Be that as may, Iris, show me the message, please.
Of course.
What can this possibly mean?
Whatever is not a long sequence of supposedly meaningless dots and dashes. It's merely it's made the color drain from Susato-san's face.
No doubt that this message is written in Japanese Morse code.
So the British Empire has been using Japanese for its secret communications?
I don't understand the reason why, but the message appears to be a list of 4 people's names.
4 names.
The first is K. Asuji.
Kazuma Asuje.
Why, what's his name on the disc? The second is A. Shin.
Shin, I don't recognize that name.
Third is T. Gregerson.
I don't know that name either. Gregson.
Ah, so it seems Tobias Grace is the third man on the list. What's his name doing on the secret government communication as well? And the last name?
What's the matter, Susato?
It's just so strange. So unexpected.
Oh, what is it, Susie? Don't keep us in suspense.
The last name is J. Wilson.
Oh no.
What?
Wilson?
John H. Wilson? You mean Daddy?
It says only J. Wilson, so I'm afraid I can't be sure. Then, after the 4 names it reads, if I translate them from Japanese, that is all 4. And that's the end of the message. Or rather, it's the end of what you noted down, Iris.
I just can't believe it. Who would ever thought that those discs contained Japanese Morse code? Not to mention a strange list of some disturbingly familiar names.
It appears that this particular message is a communication of some kind between Great Britain and Empire Japan.
So Daddy can be Japan then. Where's Susie and Rito come from?
Oh, well.
No, it's not very likely, really, is it? I mean, there are thousands of people with the surname Wilson. There must be a lot of J's among them.
Professor John H. Wilson, visiting professor of medicine at the Imperial Humane University. But we can't tell Iris about that now. We just can't. Next game. Surely. This is so strange somehow. It's solving the case of Mr. Winterbank's murder today. I feel as I've rolled back a boulder of the mouth of a very dark cave. I just dropped my controller.
I do wonder. Or perhaps it's a dark cave that we shouldn't go wandering inside. Oh dear, the ship is gonna set sail soon.
Yes, it seems so.
I'll sail on the same ship first, put the port to the port of Dunkirk in France. Then I'll change onto a larger passenger vessel bound for Japan.
You really going then, Susie?
We wish you safe passage, Mrs. Hato.
Thank you so much. I wish you all the very best. Mrs. Sato, I had hoped to have you on my side to guide me and support me. But I never heard of. Please, come back soon. As far as I'm concerned, you really are the very best judicial assistant in the world. I'm not quite sure. But back for you tonight.
Really, Susie?
Oh, now don't forget, Iris. I made you a promise that I have yet to fulfill.
A promise?
Put your manuscript?
Ah!
Oh yes, the Hound of the Baskervilles.
Well, I've been waiting for you, Susie. A promise is a promise.
Definitely, Iris. Mr. Naruto,
Yes?
do you remember the first time we met?
Yes, of course. On the SS Beria, when I was dragged out from the wardrobe still half asleep. If I remember rightly, you threw me halfway across the cabin with a Sasano takedown.
You know very well what I'm talking about after that. It's strange, but being thrown together as we were in that case, that's how I felt straight away that you were the perfect person to continue the Katsuma legacy. Mrs. Sato. My instincts were right. I really want to believe. No, I'm sure that. I'll be back soon. Farewell until then.
Somehow we seem to have come to the end of the adventures of Ryunosuke Naruhodo. Or the first volume, at least. Looking back now, it feels as though fate has led me on this journey.
Daw. Why did the cat follow us?
Fate led me to becoming a lawyer, to traveling halfway around the world, to meeting the great detective. I'm sure there'll be trials and tribulations ahead. Of course there will.
Hey, it's the third game.
But whatever happens, I know I'll be able to turn my fortunes around. After all, I have the greatest friends in the world on my side.
Bye-bye. Wait, what?
Ah, yes, Mr. Naruto. Yes, Mr. Sholmes? I have some rather awkward news. The Railway Company has decided to sue over the Special Express train, apparently.
What?
Cars had to put closure on the line. All other trains had to wait at the stations.
Oh, really? We would never have made it out in Dover in time otherwise. Anyway, I explained everything and how it was all your fault. What? I believe a formal complaint should be delivered to your office tomorrow. But not to worry, my dear fellow. According to Mrs. Sato.
You love defending yourself in court.
Whoa.
It's alright, I'm perfectly happy to decide. He really didn't look like the sort of man who'd do something so outrageous. See?
Oh, Mr. Sholmes.
Yes?
A word, if you don't mind.
Why, certainly. Any word you like. Spell it out, my dear fellow.
Of course, we have to have this.
Oh yes, I love those words. I know just the one who'll use here.
Then, I really must say,
Objection.
booyah. Ah, alright. That's the first game done, and this stream's almost 4 hours long. I need to get to bed soon. But that was fun. I'll return to this soon. I might just like end the stream here. Because there's no one else to talk to. And like all I'm watching is just credits. Can I don't want to. No. I'm trying to think. I need to get to bed. Well, I guess I could at least share my thoughts on the game since this is technically for credits. I mean, it's an Ace Attorney game, so of course it's gonna be good. Like even Apollo Justice is still a good game, even if it's by far the weakest in the franchise. There's just a little couple quirks about this particular game. Oh gosh, freaking Winston Payne. Hold on.
God damn it! Fuck! God damn it, man! God, fuck! Game sucks, man! This game fucking sucks, man! Fuck! I can't catch the fucking break! Fuck! God, people need to go play Winston for fuck's sake!
Anyways, I guess I really should like talk about my thoughts on the game compared to the others on the franchise. And honestly, I do have a lot of complaints. Not gonna lie. I still loved it. Characters are still like very expressive, and I do like how it's an entire journey and not just like case after case. Like case 2 is definitely unique in that regard, but I feel like there really should have been like more like a better balance between investigating and trials. Like Case 1 is a tutorial trial. That's a given. That's perfectly fine. Case 2 was pure investigation, though. I mean, it makes sense. You're on a ship, and they want to teach you like how investigating with Sholmes works. Makes total sense. But then you get off the train, and then you're immediately shoved into a one-day trial with Magnus McGilded, and that case 3 is just a trial. We only got room for case 4 and 5 to be the normal investigation and then trial, and that was it. So there's definitely a little bit of improvement there. I just feel like there needs to be like more overall content, and the game does feel a little long, even with all these improvements. It might just because it's 3D animation and all, and it was a lot longer in the latter 2 Ace Attorney games in the main series, Dual Destinies and Spirit Justice. maybe it has something to do with that, just because this is the first actual console Ace Attorney game. Well, was it on 3DS when it was first? Like, I don't know if the original Japanese versions were on a 3DS or if it was actually like on Wii U or something. I don't quite recall. But either way, this localization is the first Ace Attorney game we've had on consoles, besides, of course, the WiiWare of the trilogy. And those were like the pixel version, not the actual trilogy version. So I understand the length, but if there's anything else to complain about, it's a lot easier. Like I only had trouble a few times, and while the game didn't hold my hand like it did in like for most of the game in Spirit of Justice, or not Spirit of Justice. Yeah, Spirit of Justice. That game is pretty easy. Nope. But yeah, it was definitely a lot easier than some of the other Ace Attorney games. I feel like a great lack of old tragedies definitely held it down. If I was to put this in a ranking, I'd say this is a little bit better than well, actually I do like Apollo of Justice more than most. So where would I put this? Yeah, unfortunately I'm gonna have to put this as my least favorite Ace Attorney game. Not to say it's bad or anything, once again. Maybe Resolve would change that. I know Resolve is gonna go into that case 5 years ago. Because I mean they flat out foreshadowed that. I'm definitely looking forward to that. Also doesn't help that Susato is probably my least favorite female assistant, but oh well. Aw, that's cute. But here's hoping that Ace Attorney Resolve is a lot better and builds upon this game and its flaws. Thanks for tuning in. And unless there's a post-credit scene, I'm gonna get out of here. Is this just gonna be credits? Yeah, it looks like it. Yeah, it's credits. Okay. Nope. I'll see you guys next week for Ace Attorney Resolve. Bye-bye!